Welcome to the Feminine Mistake Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Nicole, and today I am joined by
Hillary
and actor, dancer, Christy Wozniak.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Christy.
Hi, Christy.
Yay, I'm so happy to be here.
And this podcast is coming out in March, but we're recording it on Galentine's Day.
Yeah.
And Nicole and Christy put together this really cute spread, and it has cupcakes and chocolate covered strawberries, and I brought a Ziploc bag full of mixed nuts.
Hey, sometimes you need some nuts to go with your chocolate covered strawberries.
We all know who the classy bitch in this group is.
Don't forget the box wine.
Oh, I
Yes.
did bring a box of wine, too. Thank you, Christy, for that.
Christy brought us flowers. This is,
Yeah.
I could not think of a better way to spend Galentine's Day
I
than
know, and it's my favorite
know.
holiday, so I was happy that I get to spend it with you guys,
And-
two strong, powerful, beautiful women.
oh my god.
Thank you.
And
Best date
Christy is dressed so beautifully. She's like the most well-dressed. I know you can't see that, but she's like the most well-dressed guest we've ever had on the show. She really decked out.
For sure. Yeah.
Well, thank you. I was getting myself ready because I was like, it's Valentine's Day, Galentine's Day, and I was treating it like a date. I had the
my
music
gosh.
playing on my Spotify. I was getting all dressed
The music
up.
from Dirty Dancing?
I was
my
playing the
gosh.
soundtrack from Dirty
my
Dancing and getting myself
Oh my
all
God.
ready, picking
Oh, it's
out
so
my
great.
little outfit. I was full of anticipation,
gosh.
and now I'm here, and it's going really well so far.
I feel like this date is going well. This is the
Yeah.
best date that I've had in a long time.
Yeah, this is
I think.
definitely the only date I've been on in a long time.
All right, so
And the best, obviously.
I'll take that compliment. I'll take that. I'll take it.
You guys are the only people I'd ever want to date. So
I love you.
Turned it around
Now
saved
you
it.
may notice Sarah is not here tonight. Sadly, Sarah is not able to join us for this episode, which I'm very sad about because I want to hear what she has to say about this movie so badly. But you know, we're all missing her for this episode. But she will, of course, be back next time on the next episode. So
yes, she
Yes,
better
she
be.
will be. Okay, so let's get into talking about Dirty Dancing, 1987. Same year as the last movie we did, right? Overboard? Right? Overboard was 1987.
Sure.
So contemporaries. This film, of course, starring Jennifer Grey and Patrick Swayze.
Oh my god!
Okay, we'll get there. We'll get
Don't
there.
even say his
We'll get there.
name.
Swayze. Okay. Directed by Emil Ardolino, who I'm not really familiar with, but also directed Sister Act and Three Men and a Little Lady,
Oh,
which we have not done on the show, but we did Three Men and a Baby, which was
We
directed by
did.
Leonard Nimoy.
but I have no desire to see Three Men and a Little Lady.
Well, you might
At
have to
all.
watch it for this show. I guess it depends on how many seasons we do. Written by Eleanor Bergstein, who apparently the story was influenced by her personal history, her personal life, her personal biography,
Ooh.
and produced by Linda Gottlieb. So we've got a couple of ladies on the
Yeah.
above the line crew, which is nice. That's a change from usual things. So before we get into talking about the movie, let's talk a little bit about everybody's experience with the film Dirty Dancing prior to the podcast. So, Hillary.
This is another one that I went into very, very confident about. I had seen it. I knew everything about it. And then the movie started and I was like, I've never seen this movie.
Man, that happens to
And
a lot.
it really does. And I think it's because I've taken film classes where they've shown like clips of every movie ever.
Okay,
and
you're
so I've
telling
seen
me
a lot
somebody
of
showed
clips.
you Dirty Dancing in film class.
Yeah, probably like a clip of it. In one of the many.
So you didn't see it. You thought you had seen it.
Mm-hmm.
You did not see it.
Nope. Didn't see it. Did not. Oh, this is what I was going to say about it. I think after having watched it, I was like, I think I understand why my strict Catholic mother did not let me see this movie.
Yeah. There's a
So,
reason they call it Dirty Dancing.
Yeah,
for sure.
for sure. I was like, damn, I didn't know we watched softcore porn on this show, but like I'm into it.
Well,
Let's have more of this.
You know,
Let's do it more often.
it's not Valentine's Day when this comes out, but it's Valentine's Day right now in our hearts.
Oh God, and in my pants.
Oh man.
No one's here to hold me back tonight.
I know. Sarah's not here to class this show up. It's gonna be a
It's
free
gonna
for
be
all.
filthy.
Oh God.
Okay.
All right, Christy, what was your experience with Dirty Dancing?
I want to say I was in my early 20s, and when I first saw the show or the movie, I think I was at a point in my life where I thought I knew everything about the world and was very egocentric. And
Like Baby, perhaps.
I saw a lot of similarities between me and Baby, which we will discuss as I finish this glass of wine.
Excellent.
I hated the film when I first saw it.
Really?
I hated it.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm going to say something very controversial.
Oh my God. Let's have it.
Patrick Swayze is not my kind of guy.
Oh my
I'm
God.
not attracted to Patrick Swayze.
Oh my God.
I know. I just saw your faces sink. Oh, it's terrible.
I don't know how you cannot be attracted to his raw pelvic action. I don't know. How anyone cannot be entranced by that pelvis.
Yes, and talent is an aphrodisiac for sure, and he is
Is he a good dancer? Okay, now's a good time to mention that Christy, I mean, we mentioned it sort of in the opening, but I think reiterate that Christy is a dancer.
Yes.
So
yes.
Only person at this table, I feel like, I don't think I am qualified to say anything about dancing in relation to this movie.
Oh, but see, that's the great thing about the movie, though. Well, I know we're going to talk about this more as we go along, but dancing, it's movement. It's and dancing has all different.
It's a heartbeat. Good go.
Yes.
Good go.
I'm blushing again. Here we go.
There you go.
But it has all different functions. You know, it's art. It's art you live in. It's you know, a social tool. It's a form of expression. And I think the movie has elements of all of that in it. We'll talk more about the dancing.
Yeah.
But as far as how I came into the film, yes, I hated it when I first saw it, and I had this image in my mind of Baby's white bra and thinking, this girl is wearing a training bra. She is so young. This guy is so old.
I agree with you on that, and we will get there. I
Yes.
don't want to get into that too deeply right now, but I feel you on that. I feel you.
So this is first impressions. But as I come into it now, over a decade later, I come to it as an actress. I come to it as a dancer. I come to it as someone who, another fun confession, lost their virginity very late in life. So having a sexual awakening late in life.
For sure.
And so, that's what I came to it with, just with all these different experiences in mind. So and I gave it a fresh chance. I threw away all biases. I said, let's it's been 10 years. I'm a different person. Let's dive in.
All right. Okay. This movie was notorious, I think is the best way to describe it. Because I was probably 8 or so when this movie came out. And I would say that this was about as close to porn as I could acquire in my young life. Like, I mean, it is like, I obviously I didn't see it when it came out in the movie theater. My mom, by the way, huge Patrick Swayze fan. I remember her and her giggly girlfriends. Yes. Her and her giggly girlfriends like getting together to see movies with Patrick Swayze in it just to like ogle Patrick Swayze. So I'm certain she went to go see this movie. Obviously the song, I've had the time of my life. Who didn't hear that song in the 1980s? Yeah. So that this movie was kind of ubiquitous. It was just like everywhere. But also like when it finally came on television, I think that it was my entree into
the unspoken,
the sexual universe. I don't know, like Patrick Swayze's pelvis was like the key that unlocked that secret universe.
Yeah, I can see that.
I think he unlocked a secret universe for me when I watched it yesterday. Like, whew, I get that.
So yeah, it was like an embarrassing movie to watch because you don't want your parents to catch you watching it, but also it was like, you know, so it was dangerous and like all the things you're not supposed to expose yourself to when you're like 9 or 10 years old.
Yeah. But you're like, why do I like his hips so much?
I can't get enough of this. So yeah, I didn't see it in the theater, but I certainly saw it when it came on the syndication, and so that was my
looking at
substitute for porn. Basically. So that was our experience with the film Dirty Dancing prior to the podcast. So let's get into talking about this movie.
You seem sort of distant. Let's just do it, man. You look stupid and rich.
The house is a mess, Jack. The kids are a mess, Jack. You're a mess, Jack.
You have been a total bitch ever since you came to New York.
Fascist.
All right, let's get into it.
All right, so Dirty Dancing, 1987. Movie opens with this sort of slow-mo dancing, which when I watched it the second time, realized that the dancing was from actually the end of the film, and they were just replaying it in slow motion and black and white during the credits.
I
actually
sexy.
think.
Oh wait, no,
It was from the first quarter of the film.
you're right. From when she goes into the staff quarters. Yeah, you're right. So it was like that staff quarter scene where everybody's like humping each other musically.
Or
just enjoying describing it.
just humping each other.
Well, no, it was to the beat of the music. Christy is nodding, so there was dancing going on.
Yes, there was clearly dancing going on. Again, being entered into this forbidden world, this instinctual sexual desire that learning dance can bring out in you, because dance can be very sensual, and
That's true.
The freedom of the movement, because I'll be honest, I'm a Catholic raised girl, and when I first saw the
Catholics
movie,
at the table, guys.
yes,
Wow.
yes, we're here representing. But when I first saw the opening credits of the movie, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so like raunchy and grotesque. But then when I saw it this time around, it was actually very beautiful.
And they looked cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't look that cool when I rub my pelvis on people.
Yeah.
No. Well, I mean, I look that cool in my mind.
I don't even look that cool in my mind. I think I'm fully aware of what I look like. It's like a dog with back problems.
Man.
But it's all about how you feel, Hillary.
And I feel beautiful.
Yes.
I also feel like this is
Racy.
like a moment where like there's a lot of times, and I think there's a lot better examples than this, but the movie like is set in the 60s, which we haven't mentioned. It's set in 1963, but there's like so much 80s stuff in it.
So
like
much
it's like
80s stuff.
not worried about being anachronistic at all.
Nope.
Like
Yeah.
it's like 80s music and like some very like 80s things that occur in this film that are just not period at all.
Yeah.
Which I think the font kind of goes with that. But we have Be My Baby is the song that's playing. This is the first of many songs with the word baby in it, or girls.
Yes.
There's a lot of baby and girls.
And about halfway through this song, Christo announced to me, I'm so sorry, I'm going to try not to sing along. And he failed on that. Spoiler alert.
We start with Baby in the car. So after the credit sequence, we've got Baby in the car. She's like writing in her diary, presumably about helping orphans or something. And we get the voiceover where she says, immediately like, that was back in 63 when people used to call me baby and it didn't bother me. And so like, I don't know if now is a good time to talk about that nickname, but
I think
maybe not.
Just go ahead with it.
I mean, she's bringing it up. But
Yeah.
the main character, who I don't know, presumably is what, like 17?
She's she's
17,
in her
18?
summer between high school and college. So she's like 17 or 18 years old. Yeah.
So she's like sort of still a child, not quite. I mean,
Yeah.
she's like in the in between. I don't know. Like I'm trying to think about myself when I was 18 when I graduated high school. I'm one of those kids that like had a birthday close to the beginning of the school year or whatever. And I was still kind of, I thought of myself as an adult, but definitely still, kind of a child. And in any case, even she's played by an adult woman, so we're not looking at a child at all.
Thank God. No Jodie Foster, Harvey Keitel situation here, but
Yeah. However, they do make a lot of sort of infantilizing her, I feel like, not just in the nickname, but in all the songs, like all the songs that are always playing. So there's just like this weird tension between like her being like this sexual object, but also like kind of a little girl also.
Yeah.
I agree. It's like two things that like very much oppose it, but each other, like her nickname and just like the way people treat her, and like especially the way her dad treats her, which is just as if that's his like 5-year-old, like,
yeah, but she also like runs to him a lot to solve her problems as well.
True.
Anyway, so they're on their way to Kellerman's, which is one of those kind of Catskills
Creepy family
Jewish resort.
camp.
Okay, so back in the day,
What
they
is
had
that?
Let me break it down.
Well, they didn't. They
What
didn't
is
really.
that?
Well, they didn't really cover this. But back in the day, there was kind of this thing where there were like these like Jewish family camps in
Where
the
you
50s and
just
60s.
go to like pimp out your kids.
No. You would go as a family and like go swimming and like learn take dance lessons and do crafts, and like weird old comedians would perform weird vaudeville kind of jokes. But anyway, Baby is going to join the Peace Corps, and she's the one the family expects to
major in economics.
Yeah. It doesn't.
I love you, Hillary.
They think she's going to change the world.
Yeah.
They want her. They expect her sister Lisa, who Baby doesn't seem to get along with very well, to marry a nice doctor, and that's kind of what they expect for her.
She seems like she would be very good at that.
Yeah.
But what about her career as a Broadway singer, you guys?
Oh my God! Hello.
All right, yeah, I know.
Oh, I should have cut that scene down just to spare the audience.
We'll get there.
I'm gonna play
We'll
Sarah.
get there.
Oh, I'll play Sarah later. But I have a fun fact in my back pocket.
Oh, well, let's hold on to that for the
Okay.
show when we get to that part about the show. All right. So we're at Kellerman's, which looks very much like the Overlook Hotel from The Shining, if you ask me. So as soon as we get there, for the life of me, I don't know this guy's name. This is where I need Sarah because she writes all this shit down. I just kept calling him the little guy. He's mini Patrick Swayze.
Oh,
Patrick
Billy.
Swayze. Billy.
The cousin.
Okay.
Oh,
The cousin.
yeah.
So Billy shows up in his little greaser do right away and starts unloading the bags, and Kellerman's talking to Dad, and we see Baby like getting her own bags out of the car. She doesn't need a man to get the bags out for her.
Yeah.
And Kellerman encourages them to go take this like dance class that they're offering at the gazebo. And so this is the first time we get to see Penny leading a dance class, which was some kind of conga line, Macarena. I know they didn't have the Macarena back then, but it seemed to be some kind of. She was teaching them steps in some kind of line dance situation.
Oh, I can't remember because they referenced the dance. I want to say merengue. I could be very wrong though. I don't remember.
Oh, okay. Well, everybody like old and young, old ladies, young, tiny kids are all lined up learning this dance. Baby is terrible at it. I immediately love Penny. Like immediately love her. She's got this amazing dress on, and she's like dancing, and sort of has a good rapport with all the guests, and she seems really charming, and so I like her immediately.
Yeah.
So next at the end of the day, we kind of see her like it's getting dark and she wants to go out and kind of explore the grounds. So Baby goes off. What?
We did just skip over the whole part where she gets a chicken for being in like some sort of
No.
we're
We
not
didn't get there yet. This is after
we're
that.
not there
Oh my
yet.
God,
She
okay.
hasn't gotten the cock yet. Hillary.
Nope. Oh, in more
Oh my
ways
God.
than one.
Now you're gonna make me blush. Christy.
Yowza.
Score for
Yowza.
Christy.
Okay, so
Sorry, go on.
Baby
Drink another
Baby
glass.
goes out at sundown in one of a series of comically large sweaters
And in pastels, which
and pastels.
yes.
And she comes upon Kellerman sort of talking to the staff. And I think we kind of referenced this earlier where she sort of sees what goes on behind the scenes. And Kellerman, who owns the place, of course, is talking to the waiters. And as he's talking to them about how, they need to make sure you take out all the daughters, show them a good time, even the dogs.
Yeah.
So immediately we kind of we see the way the waiters are treated, which Robbie, who we'll sort of meet a little bit more later, all the waiters seem to be these like, upper class Ivy League guys. And then the dancers come in and they're all
ragtag.
They're the hired help.
ragtag, lower
They're the
class.
menace.
Lots
to
of, I noticed like lots of Latino actors in that group. And then Patrick Swayze.
Yes. Of course.
Yep. But so he's talking to the waiters. He's kind of telling them what they're supposed to do, and then we get Johnny rolls in with his crew, and we get to meet him for the first time.
Yeah. And he walks in looking like the quintessential, bad boy, jacket slung
like
over
Danny
his shoulder,
Zuko.
t-shirt. Yeah, Danny Zuko. He's got his glasses on. We don't see his eyes, so he's got the mystery.
Yeah.
And, the whole thing. He immediately establishes himself as an outsider in this world. It's interesting for Baby to see.
Right, and she's like immediately like smitten. Like just the minute he walks in, she's like drooling.
Smitten or intrigued?
I would have been.
Well, maybe smitten is the wrong word, but she's immediately like, who's that? You know what I mean? Like she definitely notices Johnny. Kellerman is mean to them right off the bat and is basically like telling that, like, his instructions to the waiters is to take the girls out and show them a good time. His instructions to the dance staff is don't touch anyone.
Yeah. Oh, I never thought about it that way, because all I heard was, teach them what they pay for, and then don't touch them, don't get involved. But I didn't take it as literally as.
Well, it seems like it doesn't seem like Robbie, who the waiter doesn't seem like anybody seems to mind him taking all the ladies out, but like the daughters, he does not want the dancing staff or Johnny touching any of the daughters.
No,
although he's okay with
that's
him doing the old ladies, it seems like.
Right.
Wait, who's doing old ladies? What?
Oh, that
Johnny's doing the old ladies.
He's doing all the old ladies.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah,
geriatrics for him only, apparently.
Yeah. But the daughters, not the fresh meat.
Not the fresh meat.
We still have to auction
But
them
even
off like
Just
chattel
exactly.
to other young men.
Robbie is immediately a dick. Like, I immediately hate this guy. This guy, I hate him. Like, he's like, he's like, make sure you keep your hands to, I don't know, whatever he says to
Very
Johnny, and
formy.
he's such a dick about it. And Johnny tells him to put his pickle on the plate
And leave the hard stuff to him.
your
Patrick
tiny.
Swayze's not my kind of
God.
guy.
Ivy
But those
League pickle.
words did. Whew, okay.
Yeah, right?
I blushed a little bit. I will say that.
And I'm immediately having, like, I thought that I was having strong sexual feelings last month when we watched Overboard,
Yeah.
but I didn't know what I was talking about.
Yeah.
just-
Patrick Swayze just
And-
unlocked a whole.
Like,
know.
feelings I didn't know I
If
had.
we could
Yeah.
just have like a dream movie of Kurt Russell, Tom Selleck,
Yes.
and
With his
Patrick
grandpa
Swayze,
sweaters.
and like, I would never leave my bedroom.
I'll make
Like,
that
I would
happen for you
never
guys. I'll
leave.
create a little music box that you open up, and it's
my
just
God.
them
Oh my God.
pelvic thrusting.
That would be amazing. Can I also? I'll
I
just
would
have to
never get anything done.
No, I would just have to like Amazon Prime Pantry, like some batteries that were
Yes,
just delivered
just
daily.
constantly.
Yeah. Oh
so
my
that I could
God.
just
I would
never leave.
And this isn't even like the hottest that he gets. It's just
know,
like,
This is just the beginning.
I
This is
don't
just
even
the
know.
outward appearance. On that note, that interaction between the two of them sets up an important element, because it brings up that Johnny has a perception by everyone else that he is too hands-on with other people. Like, there's
like
always
Johnny
the
might
assumption
get
that
around.
betting all the
he's betting
guests. Yeah.
everyone, and it affects him. Because you see, like, in the scene with Max,
Why do people
he
think
bows
that?
his
'Cause
head.
Robbie is literally banging everyone. Like, the
It's-
waiter guy, Robbie, is banging everyone.
It's
in this
appearance. It's
camp.
appearance versus the reality.
I
It's
will
the
say I
veneer.
like
quiet
what you
about
brought
it.
up though,
Yeah.
is that like I didn't even realize it until you said it, but like Johnny is not happy that people think that he's like getting laid all the time.
affects
He
him.
like
Yeah.
it's a very different reaction than we see from most men in films. That
That's
like
true.
they're normally like, yeah, I get all the fucking pussy I want, but no, like he's just like, shut the fuck up. That wasn't
Like, I know
me.
Patrick Swayze's a hot piece of meat. I get that.
Hot piece of meat.
Not to me. I know I'm the weirdo of the group. But
Like, bring it
as an actor, I thought that was a very interesting choice when Max was bringing up, keep your hands off the girls. Because he walks in like this badass, like
Yeah.
this like anti-establishment,
Right.
like I'm a rebel, very Danny Zuko of Grease. But you see the moment of vulnerability when they mention keeping their hands off. Oh, because Max
He's
says,
being slut shamed.
yeah, he is.
really is.
And Max says, you have your own rules. Which has a double meaning. I thought that was fascinating. Max says, you have your own rules, teach them what they pay for, and hands off. Oh my God, Hillary has
pulled up a
on her
picture.
phone Patrick's.
You
she's
should make
trying
that
to
your
distract me with
wallpaper.
Patrick
I kinda
Swayze,
want to.
and I'm not buying. You can keep it there. That'd be put it next
Just
to
put
the
it next to
chocolate
the chocolate
strawberries.
Yeah. The next thing we see after he meets them at dinner is we see Baby and Neil dancing.
Yes.
And I don't know if you guys picked up on this, but I was immediately amused by their conversation where they were like kind of like trying to top each other as to who was more liberal.
I didn't catch
Didn't,
that.
but Yes.
Well, because like Baby's like, I'm joining the Peace Corps, and Neil's like, I'm marching in Birmingham with the Freedom Riders.
Yeah,
like,
with my bus boys. He says with my bus boys.
Right, like
oh.
the liberal pissing contest was very funny to me.
That's funny. Oh my gosh.
Anyway, so they're dancing. They're being fucking schooled by some kids that are dancing next to them, like some tiny children.
That looks so cute.
Baby looks like she'd rather be anywhere else, really. Like she's politely dancing with this guy, but she does not want to be there.
Been there.
Robbie and Lisa are dancing as well together. So then we have Johnny and Penny arriving. To do this is the first time we see them dancing together, and really the first time we see Johnny dancing. At all. And they're doing the mambo, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And they're showing off.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We all took a pause to honor that. Yes.
And I love his like semi mullet.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god!
And his too tight pants that come up to his chest.
Wait, can you repeat that? Can we have that as a sound bite?
I love his semi mullet. I love his pants that are far too tight and are up like near his, like they're all the way up to his chest, really.
Yeah, they're like almost ribcage level.
Well, it elongates the legs. I do that. It's a Steve Urkel effect. I'm a short torsoed girl.
I am too.
So I wear, the high waisted.
I think it was
to
also,
make the legs.
Yeah, just the style of the time, but also I was into it.
I was super into it. The dancing is hot. The dance was hot.
Yes.
It was a hot mambo. And Kellerman did not care for it.
Yes.
And neither did Neil. Neil was getting all huffy and flushed about it. He was like, they're not supposed to do that.
Question. Since you're so attached to Neil.
Neil is the worst. Guy. I don't know who I hate more, Robbie or Neil. Like I hate them so much. Hate them so much.
It's like the battle of who can be the worst person.
Which one is skeevier? But obviously it's Robbie.
Oh,
I mean, I hate them both for different reasons. At least I just know that like Robbie is probably like he's in kind of in a way like a loser anyway. Like he's gonna get in his own way, that guy. But Neil's gonna be like fucking president or something. Like that's why I hate. You know what I mean? That's why I hate him so much. Because Neil is like that guy is gonna just keep climbing up and climbing up and climbing up and just.
You're projecting.
Fuck that guy.
No.
Fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy.
Every time he smiles, I want to punch him in his stupid face.
Yeah. Fuck that guy, yeah.
Wow, it's so funny because that's a character I didn't pay a super amount of attention to.
Every time.
I love it. I love it though. This is coming
every
to the
time he
forefront.
opens his mouth, I'm like, you shut up right now.
Was he ranting as an aspiring manager of like, oh, the help isn't or was he ranting as a jealous man?
Both, I think.
It was both.
I know. It's like,
I think he's definitely got some jealousy. Like Johnny
way hotter than him.
Well, yeah, he's hot. Women find him attractive. He's got a magic pelvis.
Yeah,
and Neil has none of those things.
He's got a skill that's like exciting and enticing. And that was the thing that was so big about that dance scene was like, you see the spectacle and the excitement and again,
it's
the theme
good
of
dancing,
escapism.
right?
So
Again,
good.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It looked good to me.
Oh,
like I was
amazing.
very impressed.
Oh,
Penny,
gosh.
Cynthia Rhodes, who plays Penny, I feel like an incredible dancer. Like she's just got this like her whole body is like
oh yeah
it's just amazing. Like her she's dancing with her back. Like her back muscles are dancing. I don't even know how she's doing that.
Oh yeah,
she's incredible.
Oh my gosh. And we forgot to mention in the first scene that Penny, the character, is described as an ex-Rockette.
That's true.
Which to me, as a aspiring Rockette.
Well, you did spend a summer up there with the Rockettes, right?
Yes,
Working
I
with
trained with the Radio City Rockettes.
That's incredible.
So I bring that up because I think that dance and that it serves a couple functions. It brings up the idea of like what things look like ideally versus what they are in real life, because she's a Rockette, which is supposed to be like premier dancer, beautiful woman, the ideal woman, and then he's this enticing, sexy bad boy, everything that a woman should want. He's dangerous but like beautiful looking, and that dancing is very erotic and sensual, but it's also very based on form and beauty, and it's dance as art. And so everyone's watching this and getting enticed and everything like that, so it kind of serves that function, and we'll see how that all kind of plays out in the rest of the
Yeah, well,
story.
Kellerman kind of puts a stop to it. Apparently,
Yeah.
they're being too flashy, and also I imagine probably a little too sexy.
Yes.
She doesn't seem to be wearing underpants. I don't know, but like she had
Would
that
you
leg up
be?
there pretty
Yes!
high.
Would you be?
Yeah, I did.
I mean, I would not want anything coming between me and that
think
pelvis.
in my
That's for sure.
mind,
I know.
Because there's a moment where the
on.
dress comes up, and I'm like, is she wearing
I'm
nude
like,
underwear?
holy shit.
Man.
What's happening?
I wouldn't have wanted anything between me and Patrick Swayze's pelvis. I would have just like jumped on him and like locked on
Like some kind of
Like
some
a-
kind of
like a
fucking
little
bear
monkey.
trap.
And he would have had to be like, sorry guys, I gotta go take care of this.
I need to get a Hillary removed from my pelvis.
Yes.
There's only one way to do it.
Yes. Well, see, and I think
kidding,
that's
there's a lot of
why
ways.
I think that's why Max doesn't like that, because again, he wants Johnny to seem available to everyone, but he doesn't want anybody too close.
Well, I think
Because
it's
actual contact.
I
Yeah.
think he
Yeah.
wants there to be something exciting and sensual about it, but outright sex is just a no-no.
Yeah, because it
Exactly.
turns down the possibility in the other ladies' minds to fulfill their fantasies.
Well, there's
of
that.
taking- yes.
There's that. But also, like, I think it's just kind of what's socially acceptable at the time as
think
well.
so,
And
yeah.
the dance, they were, there were moments of the dance that were pretty racy, I think,
Yes.
for
Yeah.
a family joint, if you
Yes.
will.
Not an all ages dance, the mambo.
No.
Yes.
Well, definitely not that mambo. You wouldn't see that on Dancing with the Stars, I don't think. Or maybe you would. I don't know.
Every time I hear about mambo, I hear the word mambo, I just think of the song Mambo No. 5. And
Please
it
don't get
immediately
that
stuck in
song
my head. I'm
started.
sorry,
Please
guys.
Okay, let's all debrief.
Right.
Ooh, okay, get it out. Don't.
I'm just going to continue singing it in my head.
Oh, God. Don't affect me.
Monica.
But Baby, of course, is watching the dance as well, and Baby digs it.
Oh yeah.
She likes it. She is definitely. I think we've gone from intrigued to salivating at this point.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, she's into it. Okay, so now we get to the good stuff.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
immediately after the magician thing, Baby's wandering about, and she spies this area that's for staff only.
Forbidden fruit.
And we see her kind of walking through these locations that we'll see later on as she's learning to dance. The big,
Yeah.
the very tall wooden staircase thing. She kind of sees people. I think the way this scene is shot is very good. There's like people kind of disappearing every now and then into the
Yeah.
distance, and you kind of hear this music, sort of far away coming from the staff quarters.
I also really did like this moment too, because like when I've been on family vacations with my family, like this is something that I frequently do, is I like slip away and like try to find places that I'm really not supposed to be.
I would never do that.
Well, that's how I ended up going on a date during my family vacation to Puerto Rico. It's just because I
That's
was like
how-
wandering around.
Man, that's how ladies get snatched.
I know.
That's how
I'm
ladies
like
get
always
snatched.
worried about being snatched. But
Girl.
also like you gotta risk it sometimes for love.
No, I would be like in my cabin reading or taking a nap. I like to nap on vacations.
Hey.
I don't like this like do a bunch of stuff
I got-
vacation.
It's exhausting to go on vacation.
I got
just
a
wanna
really
sleep.
nice McDonald's meal and a kiss on the beach out of it. So it was totally
Hey, that's awesome.
worth
Chicken
it.
nuggets or
Sounds very
Big
romantic.
It was actually a breakfast.
oh
We went out for breakfast before his shift. Yeah.
the pancakes, like the hot cakes.
Yeah. And coffee. And we went and had it
Gross.
on the
Oh my
beach.
No.
god.
McDonald's gives me the squats.
It's my Puerto
every
Rican
time.
lover.
Every time. Just the breakfast.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Every time. Okay. So Baby is making her way up this very large staircase, kind of watching people disappear into the distance, and she runs into the little guy.
Yeah. What was
Billy.
his name again?
Billy,
Billy,
yes.
the little guy.
The
And he's
little guy.
well, he's kind of like a mini
He's a mini Johnny.
mini
Yes.
Johnny. And he's carrying a bunch of watermelons.
Yes.
Phallic watermelons.
Well, they're large. They're very large bulbous watermelons.
Yeah.
I didn't see them as particularly phallic, but
I
they
don't
are
know, they were
bulbous.
just so much more like
Well, they're long. They were
Oblong.
long. They were oblong watermelons. They weren't like the small
it depends
round
on
variety.
how many champagnes you're in.
Yeah, I
when you're
guess.
you
watching
have to
at this
remember
point.
what my mental state was.
Well, it was a brunch watch. It was
was
a
a brunch
champagne
watch.
brunch
It
watch
was.
of this movie. So, she runs into Billy. She kind of wants to know what's going on up in the guest quarters. He's like, you're not supposed to be here. You got to get out of here. I'm going to get in trouble for you even being here. And she offers to help him carry the watermelon.
Yeah.
And that's her entree into this world is the watermelon.
That's what I always
Well,
offer.
and she makes the connection into the world because at the beginning scene, she helps with the bags. They were both server types, I guess.
Well, I think she's not like all the other snobby
Yeah.
Yeah.
ladies and men at the resort. Like, I
Yeah.
think she's more down to earth, and I think he responds to that.
Yeah. And that's her in.
Yeah.
That's why
she's
he eventually
definitely-
gives her a chance because he says at first, like, no, you're not allowed here because he's speaking on behalf of, like, his role.
Well, he
as
really shouldn't let her back there. That was a very poor decision on his part, frankly.
Yes.
Yeah.
That could have gone real bad.
Yes, that is true.
So they're
Wasn't
walking
he
in,
this
and she and here comes the Dirty Dancing part of Dirty Dancing.
Yeah.
Everyone is bumping and grinding and doing the shimmy shake and the Tootsie Roll and they're all
Christy's about
wanna
to correct us on
Rooma
it.
zoom zoom and the boom boom.
No, not correct. I'm just curious.
Anybody else know that song besides me?
Yes, I do. What would the 2017 Dirty Dancing be?
I think it would
Is it the
kind of
twerk?
be that. Well, maybe
Oh, what?
twerking, yeah.
I mean, what would it be?
Well, frankly, when I was in high school, there was this like kind of a similar thing where you would
Yeah.
like kind of sort of hump each other on the dance floor.
Yeah, I feel like it's all about just rubbing your
universal.
crotches together.
It's timeless.
It's rubbing your pelvis against someone else's pelvis
It's timeless.
in a
It's
dance
classic.
situation is timeless.
Yeah.
It's true.
Now we just throw in a little bit of the booty.
blushing. I am full on blushing now, and I have wine all over my
But
skirt.
of course, at this point, we're hearing like a sort of classic '60s kind of soundtrack. I didn't
Yeah.
check on the period accuracy of these songs. They all
Yeah.
seem to be sort of early '60s ish.
Yeah.
Kind of R&B, soul, a little bit of pop kind
Yeah.
of stuff.
Yeah.
So everybody's dirty dancing. She seems very uncomfortable at first with this. Like it's all happening around her and she's not.
Well, she's
Not
just
entirely
walked
comfortable.
into a porno and she's a little confused.
Well, yeah, I mean they're for sure grinding on each other, but
Yeah.
they're dancing like they're good
No, I'm
dancers.
not denying that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, again, like a dog with back problems.
Yeah,
and
it's
I
definitely not
dance,
that. It's not
but,
that for sure.
Like they look good, like
Yeah.
they're actually dancing.
Definitely.
But if I had never seen that before, I think I would have been a little shocked.
Whole
Yeah,
new
this world that
Yeah.
she's never been exposed to before. And there's like women with short hair and they're wearing pants and there's black people and oh my god, it's
Oh
like
my God.
what is happening?
What?
So, and she sticks out in her
Crazy.
very much sticks out in her little cardigan and pastel
Yeah.
dress that she's wearing, and she looks very uncomfortable. And she immediately sticks out, and everybody's kind of staring at her. Penny and Johnny show up, fresh off their dancing gig for the night. They're immediately like taking over the place. Like
Yeah.
everyone's bowing down to their mad dancing skills.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Billy and Baby are just kind of standing off in the corner talking about them. And of course, this is where we find out that Penny and Johnny, though a very good dancing couple, are not a couple in real life. They're not actually together as boy and girl.
Yes.
Anyway, so Johnny comes up to them with his like shirt buttoned down.
Oh my God. Can we dim the
just
lights?
mid-chest.
Can we dim the lights,
Let's
friend?
get the slow jams on. He's got just the right amount of forehead sweat.
Oh, just
Oh
the
my
right
God, you
amount.
noticed
Just
the forehead
right,
sweat.
like
Just
where
the right
just a
amount.
little bit of the periphery of the
Yeah.
hair is sticking to the forehead, but he's not like
Yeah.
you don't.
Full
He
on
doesn't
sweaty,
seem. He
like,
doesn't
yeah.
seem smelly.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's like he perspirated.
He
just
seems
enough.
maybe musky, but not smelly.
yeah. Like I'm not gonna get wet when I touch my face to
No.
your face.
Yes.
No. Anyway, so he walks up with his.
I'm full on blushing at this point.
He walks up with his perfect amount of sweat, and he's like, "What is she doing here?" We find out that
He's all angry, and it makes him even sexier.
right, and she doesn't belong here. And Billy, we find out Billy's his cousin, ish. Like, did we already know that? I don't know. They mentioned it
don't know.
again.
He
Yeah.
mentions it when when they mentioned the couple thing because he's
Okay.
like, "Oh, he's my cousin. He
Oh,
got
right,
me the
right.
job,"
Okay.
kind of thing.
Missed that.
I was 3 mimosas
Johnny-
in.
I was just staring at Patrick Swayze's hips.
Yeah, he does have that power. Yes.
So he's rightfully upset that baby's there. She should not be, and
Yeah.
they could get in trouble for this. All the dirty dancing.
Yes.
And Billy's like, it's cool. She's helping me out, and baby's like, I carried a watermelon.
Well, he
the
says
famous line from this movie.
he says she's with me. She kind of turns him down because it's like
Yeah, I
they
think
kinda-
Billy
yeah.
definitely wanted to get in on that a little
Yeah.
bit. Like he was like, if anybody's gonna go for me, maybe it will be her.
Yeah. And so she kind of
Not so much.
she sets that boundary that's she's not about that life. She's not about that watermelon life. Except, well, I mean, she's not about.
Well, she's not about anything but Johnny. I mean,
Yeah.
she's like watching
Yeah.
him like he is a delicious rump roast baking in the oven.
Oh my God, yes.
Or perhaps a buttery lobster.
That's exactly how I
my
look at
God,
buttery
OMG.
lobster.
I mean, she's like salivating, like she wants to
you said
ingest
buttery
him.
lobster, and I immediately started salivating. So
So that was a
it's
good
exactly
analogy.
what it's like.
Like at first he's very resistant to her being there, and then
Yeah.
like he kind of sneaks up on her and like
Yeah.
starts teaching her how to dance, and
It's
and
like,
that
feel my pelvis on your pelvis.
I know at that moment I'm like, I like his pelvis, but not when it's like that close to a
He's
17-year-old
full-on
girl.
grinding her. Like,
It's like,
See, at
I
this
find it
point,
upsetting.
at this point, I just resigned myself to the fact that she's like going into college. And like for me personally, like I had so many crushes on older dudes when I was around that age. And like I definitely like dicked around with a bunch of like 22-year-olds when I was like 18 years old,
like
you know, like
conservatively, like at least he's almost 30. He's got to be.
I
in
wouldn't
his,
say he's
You don't
almost
think
30.
so?
Did they establish his
They
age in the
don't.
film? Okay.
He
I would
seems like
assume
30
if
to
you're working
me.
at a summer camp, like your oldest age is probably like 26. You know, like that's what I was thinking.
He's
like,
still like
cap
a
around
fully
there, you
grown
know?
man. Like he's a fully grown. Look,
Yeah, but I know a lot
I'm
of
bothered
18-year-olds
by
like
this.
says he's in his 30s, but I don't know.
She's basically a child. And
Yeah.
it's not even like he
Yeah.
walks up and like when he's just kind of like swaying her hips a little bit, it's like it's a little weird, but like he's like dry humping her.
Yeah,
and
he gets into it. He's feeling it.
It bothers me. Like I struggle with their like relationship a lot.
I understand that.
It's just like, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm a mom and I'm like projecting like how I would feel if it was my daughter, but I'm just like, she's a child, he's a grown man, and his pelvis is too close to her pelvis for my liking.
I think that's part of the reason why you and I have a differing opinion on this too, because like you're thinking of it as like if my daughter was out there, like I mean, yeah, I would be mad if it was my daughter. I don't have a daughter, and I was a lot closer to that age more recently, and like I just remember how I behaved, and I was like, oh, that's not that unusual.
Well,
me.
look, I mean,
you know?
I would have liked an older man's attention as well, but that doesn't
Yeah, it
mean
was
that it would have
great.
been good for me, or that he should have done it. I don't know. That's all I'm saying. Is
I
that
don't know.
Yes, I don't know. That scene. It's like you could look at it from so many different lenses, but the way I
my
try
lens is creeped out.
yeah, my lens is it is a bit. It's a bit graphic in the film. It's a bit it's a bit graphic.
Maybe a
to
bit
the
much
exterior.
for the beginning. I
Yeah.
don't know. Maybe if like it wasn't so pelvisy this early, like you know what I mean. Like it was like very like it. I was like almost okay with it when he's just like kind of showing her how to move her hips, but when he like really moves in there, I'm like, whoa, bro.
That's
Well, maybe
fair,
that's the
yeah,
danger
I
of
guess.
contact. Like
You know,
maybe that's,
whoa, bro. Arm's
Yeah.
length. Arm's length.
This is my dance
Leave
space.
room for
This
the Holy
is-
Spirit.
Thank you. The Holy Spirit is getting smothered by your pelvis right now.
Whoa. But maybe maybe the reason why it went so graphic into that point is that maybe it again is supposed to evoke the theme of like how dangerous is contact, how uncomfortable is contact, where's the line, like where you know
The line is
Nicole's like, I'm gonna tell you where the line
is
is.
the line is a 30-year-old man's pelvis next to a 17-year-old's pelvis for me. That is the
I
line.
don't think he's 30, but I will.
don't think
will
he's
agree
30,
with
but he
you,
does
though.
look 30, which is what creeped me out.
He looked
Yeah.
just
I
a
will
lot
agree
older
with
than
you.
her.
You know, like yeah, if a man came up to me and was just touching me like that, even no matter how attracted I am to him, it is weird, you know, like to just like automatically like shove your penis up against me and like dance on me. Like that would be weird, you know,
Yeah.
like even if you're showing me, I get it. It's the contact is what makes it maybe a step too far
Yeah.
for a first interaction.
Yeah, like I just question
Yeah.
that in the movie generally. Like, why
That's
does it
fair.
have to be like that so soon? Anyway,
Yeah.
But it's dirty dancing.
they're like, it's called Dirty Dancing. We got to deliver you guys. I want this dancing dirty.
Can you be dirtier?
All in the
even
title.
dirtier, even
Get
dirtier.
closer. Okay, so anyway, next scene, we're at the gazebo. Baby manages to squirm away from Neil by getting him to go to the kitchen where they're going to get a little late night snack. Meanwhile, while they're in there, she kind of sees Penny crouching.
Well, Penny openly sobbing in the middle of the kitchen floor.
Well, but she's like hiding behind stuff.
Yeah.
She's not like
but she's
sitting
not,
on
like,
top of
under
the prep
a
table.
counter, you know. She's
Well,
just
she was
like
in
the
a corner. Nobody puts Penny in a corner.
Yeah. Poor Penny.
Poor Penny.
She wasn't
Right.
covering her face, so she was openly crying. However,
And
her
she is
physical
wearing an
body
evening
was
gown.
hidden. Such the analyst here.
Poor Penny. Poor Penny. A woman who is very important to the first half of the movie, but not at all important to the second half because she's just a prop in a way.
Yeah.
Sadly, narratively,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
like you never get. I mean, you get like you
get glimpses of her later.
you get
but
her narrative gets wrapped up in background extra work.
Yeah. Well, and by the end, she's dancing with tap dance guys, so we know kind of.
Well, anyway, so Penny is upset and crying in the corner and shaking, like she's very like something very serious is going on with her. Neil doesn't see her though.
right. No. So Baby expertly distracts him.
She tells him there's some kind of like young Republicans rally going on next door, and they race off
like,
to that.
Heil Trump.
No,
and he
no, no.
runs off.
No, she mentions her sister.
They're all
she's
Jews,
got to
though,
go. She's got to
just
go check on her
FYI,
sister.
so probably there's probably not highlighting anything.
Sorry.
No,
all
she
of our
expertly
Jewish
says
listeners.
that she has to go check on her sister because I remember he brings up a pickle reference because he's looking in the fridge. He says you can have whatever you want. You can have cake. You can have this. You can have sweet gherkins, the pickles, and she's
Right.
like, "Hold on, no, I see what you're
Well, I
putting
think,
out there."
I think it's very much like she sees Penny and she's like, I've got to get
Yeah.
Neil out of here.
yes,
And that's kind of
yeah,
what goes down.
So she's like, I gotta go check on my sister. So they
Anyway, she runs to the little guy and tells him what's going on.
Yeah.
to Billy.
Billy.
To Billy, the little guy. And he tells Johnny what's going on. And they all hightail it back to the kitchen. Johnny not happy that Penny is that Baby is with them.
Yeah. Even though she made the discovery.
He's like, what is she doing here? And then Billy just blurts out that Penny is pregnant. Like,
Yeah,
just
just
like,
like,
out
out
of
of
out.
nowhere.
Come
Like,
on.
why don't you take out a spot on the evening news, Billy?
Like, Baby's like, what's wrong with her? And everybody's like, oh, she's fine, just having a day. And he's like, she's knocked up, baby.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Which I would like to point out that in the 1980s when this film came out, I did not know what that meant.
knocked up?
Yeah,
Like she
like
had a black eye
none
or
of
something.
the core serious things that happen in this movie, and we'll get to what that is in a moment, are ever explicitly stated.
No, they're, yeah.
And I don't know if that's because that's how they would have talked about it at the time. I kind of doubt it. I feel like it's more like, so it's okay in this movie to openly hump people on the dance floor, but we can't talk about pregnancy or abortion openly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that was
Nobody
definitely
says
the
pregnant,
thoughts.
really.
No.
They just say in trouble or knocked up.
In
Yep.
trouble.
And so I didn't know what knocked up
procedure,
was.
A doctor.
I thought she had been. I legitimately thought she had been physically abused by some guy.
Yeah.
That's what I thought knocked up meant.
Man.
And Sarah's not here, but we watched this movie together, and she thought the same thing.
Okay.
So, anyway, Johnny shows up, carries her out of the kitchen, and they go back to the staff quarters.
And they say that she needs $250, right?
They say she needs $250, and there's a doctor coming into town that can help her get out of her situation. Again, we're talking about abortion, but we're not talking about abortion. Nobody ever says abortion at all.
We're talking about going to see a real MD who can help her, is what he says.
And Johnny wants to pay for it. And Penny's like, I can't. You don't even have enough money. I mean, again, I had no idea what the fuck this money was for.
I was immediately just like fell in love with this movie as soon as this happened. I was just like, what?
Really?
Yeah. I was immediately just like, because I knew what was going to happen after that. Like, I hadn't seen this movie, but I was like, okay, Baby's obviously going to go help her. She's going to go get the money. She's going to help her get out of this situation. And I was just like, I really like the idea of women helping women in this movie. And it like, it made me really happy to also see an abortion story. Like, one of my favorite movies is Obvious Child. Which
I still haven't seen that yet.
It's so good. Jenny Slate is a gem.
I fucking love her.
But it's all about like a comedian who has an abortion, and it's an abortion comedy, and like she hates saying that, but like that's what it is about. And it's like it's just a real woman.
It's an abortion rom-com, right?
Right. And like she's just a real woman in real life who has an abortion, and so it's very funny and very slice of life, and like it's a great story for that reason. And I feel like this is very similar.
It is, and it isn't, because this movie struggles with how it feels about abortion.
It does, but it's also...
It won't talk about it, and it spends a lot of time having Penny apologize for it and saying that she's not a certain kind of girl.
Yes.
As if that needs to matter.
Yeah.
Right. I was amazed that abortions cost so much, though, at that time.
Well, of course they were. They were illegal.
Yeah.
Well, but they're legal now, and they're still fucking crazy expensive.
Right. Well,
so I was just like in my mind, I was like, okay, an abortion now is like $600. So it was like $250. I was like, that seems like a lot to like go see some man in an alley who like sticks a coat hanger.
Well,
in
he
you know, it just like seems like a lot of money.
He brings the coat hanger to you in this scenario.
Oh, good.
Remember.
Thank God. Coat hanger upon delivery.
We haven't gotten to that scene yet, but I believe what Billy says is that it's a dirty knife and a table.
Yeah.
Yes.
Big table.
Which just so brutal.
Yeah, I mean that is we'll let's hold off until we get to that scene. But like this movie deals with abortion, but it also doesn't. Like I didn't know what they were talking about.
But there are a lot of movies that don't deal with abortion, and I think that this one did it well enough for its time.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Like, I think that there are still movies today that don't deal with abortion very well. And I think that that's a consistent narrative we see about women who get pregnant in films, is that they don't ever have the choice, you know?
Right.
Like Knocked Up, for instance, Katherine Heigl's character goes home with Seth Rogen and like sleeps with him one time, gets pregnant, and like abortion never crosses her mind.
Well,
and like
of course
we don't
not.
have that narrative.
Of course you're
going
to have the baby of the weird guy that you slept with once who didn't keep the condom on, and that might potentially ruin your entire career.
But what was that other one? Like The Switch with Jennifer Aniston. Like that one too. Like there are so many movies about like women getting pregnant and just
get me
suffering
on the
through
Switch.
it.
What a fucked up story that is.
But also like, I mean, there's so many stories now that are like women who get pregnant but don't ever have the choice, and they have to have the baby, and it always works out for them in the end. And I think it's a really glamorized version of how these stories start. And
there certainly is a lot of complications in her way, though.
But it did make me happy, though, to see this story where it was just like very open, and it was just like, she's pregnant, she's ending it, we're getting rid of it, we need the money to do it, and we're going to find a way to get it. And I liked that it was just like laying out in such like plain terms. And it was just like, she knows what she wants. She wants to be a dancer. She's not going to have this baby. The guy's a douche. Like, he has a lot of money. She'd get child support, but like, who gives a fuck? She doesn't want the baby. And like, I liked that aspect of this film. I do think there are problems with explaining abortion in it, but I think it's well
I would
done
say
for its time.
that at this particular time in our history, I found the whole storyline to be very chilling.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Because we're getting a glimpse into a time period when this is what would happen if you could not get a legal abortion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would unless you were in baby's class of people.
Mm-hmm.
Because even
who could afford to go to a private doctor on their medicine, like on their insurance,
and hop on a plane and go to some place where you could get one.
Right.
This is exactly what might happen to you.
Yeah.
Right. And this is not an unusual situation to think could happen again. At least in the place that we are right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It does make me really nervous.
So, baby wants to help. She strikes out with Robbie. So next she tries her dad. She goes to the golf course. Mm-hmm. She asks daddy for the $250. I mean, this is kind of insane to me. Mm-hmm. Not only does she ask him for $250, which is a lot of money, I feel like.
Yeah. That's a lot of money as a 17-year-old to be asking their father.
She needs it like right away.
Yeah.
She needs it for someone who's in trouble. And she won't tell him what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. My parents would have fucking laughed in my face.
That's a huge step.
If my kid asked me for $250, which is not that much now compared to then, I would be like, no. Mm-hmm. And we need to have a long talk about what you need this $250 for.
Yeah.
But he's got this kind of blind trust in her, basically. And he's like, of course, it's got to be for something good and decent.
Yeah, like
I'll have it for you before dinner.
His daughter, yeah.
He was like, "Is it for something illegal?" And she's like, "Oh, daddy, He's like, of course not, baby.
I don't
And
know if
like,
it was exactly-
she runs away. That's how I imagine it in my head.
That's kind of how it went down.
Yeah.
I guess he couldn't imagine any sort of situation. Like, in a way, he's kind of naive too.
Yeah.
Like, he couldn't imagine anything
yeah.
that she would need that.
Exactly. Like they're at
$250
summer
that-
camp. You know, like
That's
what
true.
would she possibly need that money for?
What are the odds that she needs it for an abortion at summer camp?
Exactly.
Oh my god.
Who gets an abortion
one
at summer
time at
camp?
summer camp?
Unusual request. So she goes to the staff cabin with the $250 in hand. Penny and like you do, Penny and
Like you do.
Johnny are dancing together. Everybody's doing a dirty slow dance when they walk in.
Yes.
And she gives Penny the money, and Penny's like flummoxed that she just was able to come up with this money. And Johnny like immediately makes fun of her. He's like, "Oh yeah, so you went to Daddy and got the money from Daddy."
Yeah, he rejects her.
But Penny won't take the money.
Yeah.
At first, she seems like she's going to take it, and then she won't take the money because look, this is a very paper thin thing to hinge the plot on. Frankly, she won't take the money because of this dance routine.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
okay. Do you think it's just because of that, or do you think she's taking the cue off of Johnny rejecting
Maybe.
the worth of?
But if so, why go through this whole charade of having what happens next, which is that Baby steps in for her in the dance?
Yeah.
So the problem is the procedure can only be done on the same night as this very important dance gig that they have, which like you literally couldn't, like you could walk in off the street and get somebody better than Baby to do this dance.
Yes, 100%. Like
But
there were a ton of other people
Like
available.
I saw some people I saw some old ladies at the line dance at the beginning that would have been better.
Those kids even.
Those kids
kids were good.
at the ballroom, they would have been better. Anyway, so Penny doesn't want to take the money because they've got this gig, and apparently if they don't do this gig, they'll lose it. They'll lose the money for this summer.
Lose the money for the whole season.
They'll
in
move
their
it, lose it for the next season. They'll lose it for the end of time. They will never work again in this town. They must do this one fucking dance on this one fucking night that nobody can fill in for. But Penny.
I've had those shifts though.
But we're talking about
I've had those things where it's
have
like
a baby,
there's no way of getting
do
out
this
of it.
one gig. Like, what would you do? You know what I mean?
Yeah, like
seems like a
ruin
no-brainer.
your whole life. Don't get a job for 6 months.
Yes.
Like
Seems like a no-brainer.
Yes.
Put
I don't
Baby
even
in.
remember whose idea this
Well-
was because it was just so idiotic. Like,
Well,
was
Baby's
was
like,
it
can't
Billy's?
someone else do it? And Johnny's like, who's gonna do it? You? And Billy's like, well, she can move. And I'm like, I don't know what movie you're watching.
I know. Like,
But
in,
she
in
cannot
what
move.
universe can she move?
Well,
She cannot move.
Like
Well,
physically, yes, she can.
Billy's-
To a beat, I
maybe
don't
Billy's the
know.
optimist. Maybe he's the optimist. He sees.
I
the
think he's
potential.
still like hoping for an in, is what it is.
yeah.
Billy,
Yeah.
she can move is code for like, but she has boobs.
You go, maybe that's it.
She has boobs.
Maybe that's it. That must be it. What kind of dance did they do? Was
A
that a mambo?
mambo.
So they're gonna do a mambo.
They were supposed to do a mambo, that sexy dance from the beginning where we weren't sure if she was wearing panties because it was so sexy. Now, innocent Baby in her oversized sweaters and white t-shirt bra
And white bra.
has to
Yeah.
go perform this
Despite
song.
the fact
or
that she is a child, has no dance experience,
Okay.
and that this is such an important dance that Penny is contemplating having a baby so as not to miss this gig. They're just gonna throw Penny in. They're just gonna throw Baby in there.
yeah.
Yeah.
She's willing though. She's willing, and
She's
she
willing.
She wants
She
to help,
is.
and there's something magical about this.
Well, now we
Right,
get a
you're- you-
we get our
you're
first
right,
montage.
though.
We get our
Well-
first montage, and based on the montage, as someone who started dance at age 30, she clearly has had some experience, like as
Oh,
the
yeah.
character, not just the dancer.
Okay.
Like, I think she has had some kind of
Okay.
exposure to seeing something.
So it's not like
because
if you
she's
just threw
original.
me.
She took
It's not
ballet.
like you just threw me out there.
yeah, that transformation was pretty quick, and some of the things that we see in her carriage and everything transformed. That took me like a year.
Okay.
So-
Well, I
I'll
don't know.
just-
I don't know what the time frame is here. I guess
Yeah.
presumably a couple weeks.
I'll
maybe.
say I was on dance team
Yeah.
in college for a couple of months, and
dance team.
I immediately fell and hurt my ankle and was out for the whole season, about one practice in. So I feel like you gotta have some experience
could have
before you
been?
just do it.
Yeah.
Well, in any case, we get to see her do it in this montage.
She does.
Set to Wipeout, which I think is a good use of the song.
Yeah.
She's
And she like dances on a bridge.
Yeah, she has the
She's by
misstep right
herself.
on Wipeout. I was like, I've lived that. I have lived that.
she's like messing up. She's not doing well. He's like yelling at her. She's like dancing up and down the big staircase thing. Her clothes are getting tighter and tinier. Like those oversized sweaters are gone, and now she's wearing like crop tops. Like I don't know
will
where all
say,
those
though,
crop tops came from in her
that,
luggage, but
bodysuit with high-waisted jean
Yes,
shorts, like that is my dream outfit.
Yeah.
Like,
I
that's
know
all I've
that
ever wanted
almost
to wear
made
in my
me want to
life.
give up on my nightstand chocolate.
I know. I like saw that and I was like,
Christy's
Stand
nodding at
chocolate,
me.
tell
Yes,
me more.
I have chocolate in my nightstand,
Yes.
which I eat before bed.
Yes.
I have gummy bears in mine.
Well, I think this is a good lead in into the meat between the montage sandwich we're about to have, which is the gungunga scene where he's like, it's a heartbeat. Gungunga.
Yes.
That was the first
And
scene where I was just like, oh God.
Well,
Why didn't they cut this out of the movie?
Oh, you didn't like this, huh?
It was the gagunga
so
that really
here's the-
turned me off.
Here's the thing too. In the first
I dried up
introduction-
real quick.
Oh my god.
Just real quick. Like, nope, no more.
It just closed.
Oh my
Just
god.
closed.
Just done for business.
So,
Patrick Swayze's pelvis is
Pelvis Anonymous.
has opened me up to the therapy that I need.
I need to go to Pelvis Addicts Anonymous.
Please save that. Please use that as a soundbite.
So
You're welcome.
We go from one montage to another montage. We go to the Hungry Eyes montage. I just want to point out that the music in this film is not subtle.
At this
Yeah,
point,
the music choice
not
was
subtle.
terrible for
Okay,
that moment.
Hungry Eyes.
Fucking love this song.
I
Like
this
I would
song,
roller
but worse.
skate to
Yes.
this song
I just-
any day of the week.
Here's the thing: is I think of the M&M's commercial when I hear this song, but it came on, and Krista and I were sitting there, and he was just like, "Are you hungry?" And I was like, "Yeah, I am." And so we had to pause this at this
So you
point.
guys got literal
and go
hungry
make
eyes.
food. We literally got hungry eyes.
hungry
Like,
eyes.
as soon as it was like hungry eyes, we were like, "So bacon?"
Yeah,
or,
or M&M's
like,
or
what do you
night
wanna-
cheese.
what do you wanna
What's
do about
happening
this?
here?
Oh jeez.
Oh, okay. I would love to talk in depth about this. We're
The
talking
three-way dance with Penny.
the menage a trois.
It was weird.
Yeah, where they're wearing like the same outfit and he's just like sitting watching and then they're like
Yeah.
dancing.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's kind of a beautiful scene, but also a little, again, like I'm like, these are adults and
It's
she's
a
like
diamond
a
of
child.
subtext.
Yeah.
It's a little.
There's a lot going on, and I did not know how to interpret it. There's parts of
Okay.
me that are like, is it the passing of the torch? Like, you know, Penny to Baby as like you have gotten to this level of dance where like you're going to be the new partner, or is it? I don't know.
It
There's
seemed
also-
a little bit more like a three-way to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
I'm just
you-
saying.
Well, you know what? As I mentioned that, I was flashing back to when the two of them are dancing together. But I think that's a little bit later, Penny and Baby dancing. But when it's the three of them, it's
Oh,
a
yeah.
bit.
For me, like,
Yeah, please.
I've
please
been
help.
okay. So I've been.
Please help.
I just reread The Handmaid's Tale,
Okay.
and
I can't right now. It's too
part-
close to reality.
part of
It's
it
too
I know
close.
that
Oh, the
well,
fountainhead.
but that's part of the reason why I read it, because I was just like, I just need to get ready.
Just get ready. Get ready.
But part of it, this scene, like it maybe was just a little bit too close to that, because like in that scene, it literally like the handmaid like lays in between the wife's legs as her husband like
Whoa.
inseminates her.
Shit.
Oh.
And like so for me,
That's
this scene
intense.
was like very strange. It was sort of like a weird
So
changing
this was
of
like
the
a
guard. It
this was like
the
a Mambo Handmaiden's Tale.
Right, but it was yeah,
Oh my
right. It was just like
God.
it was weird. It was like this older woman like being like, "Here, impregnate this younger woman with me right behind her." Like it was just like a weird scene for me.
it's a little-
It was,
was just
yeah. The
too
gla-
much.
the
And they're
glances-
wearing the like fishnet tights, which is
Yeah.
not something that we see them
Yeah.
wearing again.
It was
Yeah,
it was just
so-
a little too much.
Well, it's
for
like
me
it's
in that
rehearsal. It's
scene.
rehearsal wear, but like just the
It doesn't seem like that would be comfortable for a rehearsal.
It's the 80s. I don't know. A lot of people weren't comfortable.
Yeah, that's true. We're
Fashion-wise.
ladies. We are not expected to be comfortable.
I mean, I'd be dancing in my like sweatpants, but
yeah,
that's just
but it seemed like from because I was kind of, again, like paying a lot of attention to the glances and like what, were there specific choices, or was it just kind of like live it out on camera,
Yeah.
But Johnny seemed clearly just like into the music and the dance, and like just, his gaze was down, but he wasn't like Googling over Baby at that point. But then Penny's like looking to Johnny, and I wasn't sure if it was like a like
she did look like she was like checking in for approval or something. I agree. I saw that too.
Yeah.
There was like an unsureness or something.
Yeah. Yeah. If it was like a like checking in to see if like the dance is okay, or if it's a wistfulness of like, you're going to be now dancing with somebody else when we've been so close as like childhood friends. And now, we've had this deep connection over years. Or if it's, there was too many things going on, and it was too vague. Like the vagueness, I think, kind of hurt the moment. Like
it was a little, it was a little weird. Yeah. I think now would also be a good time to talk about. We kind of touched on this, but I think it's really big in these montages. Like this movie is Baby's story, right? Like this is from her perspective. Like I think
it's supposed to be. We saw her first writing in her diary. I think this is supposed to be her story.
But then why is the camera always looking at her torso, like, and her butt, like constantly? Like and like you would think in this movie
it's the 80s.
Well, obvious. I think it's I think it's probably just one of those director choices that they just don't even really think about too much. But if the movie is from her point of view, and not to say that Patrick Swayze is not being objectified in some ways, but like it'll like the camera will like float near his penis, his pelvis area, and then get spooked and kind of go back to her.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, if the movie is from her point of view, shouldn't he be the thing that's being objectified?
Maybe
and yet,
he is, and she gets spooked every time she gets near it.
Well, I'm just saying, like, the way it's shot, we just see a lot of her torso and her pelvis, and like there's just it's just like a lot, and it's like
it's a lot.
Well, I mean, part of the
and again she's like 17.
Yeah, I mean,
the character
part of the story though is like kind of her sexual awakening and the transformation of like her body as like an expressive thing,
from chunky sweaters to crop tops.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, and even just like the way
We've
that
all
like
been there.
We've all been there.
I still live there sometimes.
Sometimes I like to wear a chunky sweater with a crop top.
Yeah, that's a cute look.
Yeah.
That's
but the crop top over the chunky sweater, obviously.
Yeah, it's all about balance.
I mean, how else would you get the crop top on?
Exactly.
Yeah, hello. Well, and to go back to like we were talking about just like the shots and why are shots of her seem more than shots of him, and I think it is it is. Well,
he's the sexual object. I just feel like she's being made the sexual object in a lot of these montage scenes where she's dancing, and again, I just think that is the eye of the director not really thinking about whose point of view this movie really is.
Yeah.
Like if you had a female director,
you wouldn't be objectifying the man. You wouldn't be, you would pick one.
Yeah. Well, I think that this is where like vagueness hurts the movie because you can see it in a bunch of different ways. I think the way that I settled in on it, and this is from coming again from somebody who lost their virginity very late in life, started dance very late in life, like it is a little bit like puberty. Like for me, learning ballet at 30 years old, you're literally like, I am changing my body and what is happening to me. Like, I'm literally like I felt like I was going through puberty all over again. Like I was like, what is I am changing and I don't know why and what is happening.
Yeah.
But then when you get more comfortable with it and stuff, then you're able to be expressive and you feel beautiful and all these things. So I think that's. I don't know if that's what they were trying to get at. That's what I've settled on how I relate to it, but it might just be a flaw of the times and the vagueness of.
I think that's kind of how I saw it, and maybe why it didn't bother me as much. I think I saw it more as like this woman coming into her body and like sort of understanding it more versus being objectified by a third party. Okay. I saw it more as like this woman's self-discovery of her own body and her own journey.
There's a lot of nips. There are a lot of nips though.
Yeah, but no, I see Nicole's point of view too though, because there was a lot of like, it's just, I think it's just the way.
And I do not think someone in 1963 would. I'm just gonna say like I don't think that is the way that like this is another time where I feel like the movie is not caring that it's not
I
true
like
to
this
history.
Was a very poorly done period piece for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I do not think a woman in 1963 would be practically nude in front of a man like that. Like, it
yeah.
just wouldn't happen.
I'm just gonna go out and say it. Like, my mom was born in 1960, and like she probably still would not have done that in the 80s as a teenager. So you know,
all right. So we see her practicing the lift in the lake. They're getting closer together emotionally. I would say.
emotionally and physically.
So
And
not just teacher to
physically.
student, but friend to friend, possibly something
Or
more.
something.
Yeah.
Um,
or something.
And then we get to the night of the dance / abortion.
Dance
This is
slash
a-
abortion.
Well, I'm just saying they're both happening on the same
Bring
night.
it back. Bring it back to reality.
I'm just saying they're happening on the same night. Apparently, this doctor only does night abortions
Oh my god!
because it's the same night as the dance,
I can't breathe.
right? Just saying.
Yep, nighttime abortion.
Nighttime
doctor.
abortion doc.
Oh my.
Ring him up
Oh.
if you need a nighttime abortion.
Nighttime.
Worst label. Like, I'm imagining like
Just
the
swoops in.
sign, the like regular like trifold sign coming in from the night, and the neon sign clicking in like abortion doc in house with like it glinting with like a bunch of dancing ladies on the bottom of it.
It's like it's the red light.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god. I am full on crying.
After hours. Okay. So it's the night of the dance.
Night of the show / abortion.
Yep. Penny is fixing up baby's dress.
Yes.
Baby's talking through her steps, which sounds like the most goddamn ridiculous sentence I've ever said. It sounds like I'm literally talking about a baby, you guys.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Baby's talking through her steps.
Yeah. Oh.
and they're bonding. So we see that they've kind of bonded over this experience.
Yeah.
Which we didn't really get to see other than that weird 3-way dance. So I would have liked to have seen a little bit more of that. But okay.
Yeah, I would have liked to
Yeah.
have seen the female friendship kind of.
That would have been
blossom a bit
nice.
more.
Like, what if it had been about that and we also got
Yeah.
some pelvis.
just some pelvis
Yeah.
as a little side candy? Like,
Yeah.
what if we had more about Penny and baby's friendship developing? Like, she's getting to know a woman who's different than she is, hasn't had the same advantages in life. That's a movie I'd like to see.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but see,
I
it's
agree.
yeah.
I agree.
Unfortunately, I don't know if it's a sign of the times or whatever, but this isn't like that well-rounded of a movie. I almost see it as like a hero's journey of like, these are all the things that baby's going through to like, to make a difference in the world and get the man and all of this.
Well, get the
But
man,
it's just
yes. Like, I don't
unfortunate.
think make a difference. I mean, they keep trying to make it about making a difference in the world,
But it's more about getting the man.
It's really
Yeah.
about getting
Yeah.
the man. It's
Yeah.
not, nothing really changes at the end of the movie for the people. Like, she changes ish, maybe, but nothing really changes. She didn't really she helped Penny get her night abortion, but these people's lives are the same. Like, Johnny gets fired, Penny probably gets fired. I mean, like, she didn't, anyway, I don't want to be cynical, but I'm just saying, like, that's kind of what the movie is about, her doing it with this hot dance guy. Really,
Yeah, and
that's
she
what
comes
happens.
more into her own. She comes more into her own.
Yeah.
The thing about this scene that's
I
really
guess.
weird to me, and we kind of alluded to it, is that there's this moment where Penny feels the need to justify that she is in baby's mind still that ideal woman. That it's interesting.
I feel like she feels the need to justify the abortion.
Well, yeah,
I mean, she's
but
like,
through that,
I'm not
like-
that kind of girl.
Yeah, right. Like,
Yeah,
Penny
I'm
doesn't
not
want
that
her
kind of girl.
reputation tarnished over this.
Which is like, I feel like a thing that I wish was not in the movie. Like, I wish she didn't need to edit. I wish they didn't feel like the need to editorialize. Like, yes, this character's having an abortion, but you can still like her because it's not her fault.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
they do the dance.
they do the dance.
They do it.
Mambo magic.
With that horrible pulled back hairstyle, she does the damn thing.
I didn't recognize
I
her.
feel like she looks even more like a child in this.
Oh, see, to me, she looked like 45 years old. I was like, who's that ancient woman on stage?
She
with
looked
him?
like, those pageants, the toddlers and tiaras. She
Yeah.
looked like a toddler and tiara to me.
See, she looked like a 45-year-old woman. I was just like, oh my God, who's that old person?
Yeah,
And I was
just
like,
didn't
oh,
recognize
that's
her.
baby.
At first, I was like, because they introduced him as Johnny and partner.
Johnny and partner.
And
Yeah.
so I was like, wait a minute, did she not show up? What happened? Did she get cold feet?
I
And then-
really feel like she looks like a child playing dress up
yeah.
to me.
But this is
Yeah.
this is like establishing their first run,
Yep.
and it's the stumble. It's the stutter starts in their relationship.
I mean, she starts off kind of rocky. She does pretty well for a little while there. She's playing it off. She's not like she's definitely trying to play off the entertainment of it, and she's not like, you know, she's trying to cover up those missteps, but she
which, by the way, I've done some of those moves when I forget steps in a dance. I'm like, woo, yeah.
So she does not do the lift.
Yeah, she doesn't do the lift.
She does it like some kind of jazz hands or something instead.
Yeah. She kind of pauses and then she does a little
shimmy shake thing. Yeah,
action shimmy shake situation. Don't know the exact technical dance term for that, but it was
thumb shimmy shake sounds
thumb
right.
Shimmy shake.
It wasn't a Miley Cyrus hoedown.
Oh, that was a Miley Cyrus.
Ashley Simpson hoedown.
Ashley Simpson, yes.
After getting caught lip syncing.
Oh my God, yes.
Anyway, so the dance goes pretty well. You know, they
aside
missed
from
the lift,
a couple
but
hiccups, it goes fine.
So they're going home. She's getting dressed in the car. And he's being nice to her. I feel like for the first time in this movie,
very encouraging.
Yeah.
Where he's like, you did a good job, and she's like, I didn't do the lift, and he's like, well, you did a really great job, and you worked really hard. Mm-hmm. And then he like creepily checks her out in the mirror, where he's like, staring at her creepily.
I was really hoping that wouldn't happen, and then it did, and I was like, gross.
There's a lot of sexual tension in this car.
Yeah,
floating about
a lot.
All right, so we get to Penny's. They stop by Penny's. I presume to tell her how the dance went. I guess
they still have their jobs. They're still employed.
Yeah. And Penny is
slowly dying,
very sick.
She's quote in trouble is kind of how I think
she's they're subtle about it, but there's like, you can see there's blood on the bed, there's a little blood on her shirt, like she's fucking dying.
Yeah, she had a back alley abortion and is suffering from it.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's like I feel like one of the more brutal and honest things that happens in this movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like they do deal with it in what I would say is with subtle, like as much subtlety as can be done. Like they're not, it's not gratuitous. It's not like, it's very, it feels kind of real and terrifying. And I do remember it being very terrifying to watch when I did see it when I was young. Didn't understand what was going on.
Yeah.
I thought maybe she had a baby. I didn't really know what was going on. Again, like I didn't know.
You didn't know what knocked up meant or anything.
I didn't understand what was happening. It just seemed like they did a surgery on her and that she was dying, and that was kind of all that I understood. But it is it's kind of a difficult scene to watch. So baby runs home to get dad, who fortunately is conveniently for this movie is a doctor.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And
Dr. Daddy Houseman.
Oh God. So she runs home to get dad. He immediately goes, to his credit. Like I feel like we haven't really talked about this, but I feel like her dad is a good guy.
Oh yeah, her dad's awesome.
He steps in and helps whenever he's needed.
Yeah,
he treats Penny with care and respect. He's very kind. And gentle. Mm-hmm. So they get there and he knows immediately what's going on.
Yeah.
And he's stepping in to help. And he wants to know who's responsible. And for what reason, I do not know. Johnny steps up. Like, is this a miscommunication?
He doesn't say who's responsible for this
situation.
He says who's responsible for this woman. And he says, I am. Which I think is a very good friend thing to do.
But I feel like,
you know,
he has to know that is what he's gonna think he means, is that I got her pregnant.
I think in his eyes, though, he doesn't care in this moment. It's to him, I feel like it's more of a like, who is this woman's emergency contact?
Yeah.
And he's I am.
Who's Ice?
You know, like exactly.
Who's
like
Ice right now?
Who's her in case of emergency? Like, I need to know. And he's like, I am. And he immediately assumes that he is the father of the baby.
See, I took it to mean that he was like taking responsibility like
for her situation.
But I don't like what you're saying makes sense. I don't understand what the fuck he said that for, because it's obviously going to immediately be taken to me to mean this is my fault.
Right. Well, I feel like something behaviorally happened in that scene. Like, maybe someone made contact with someone, and that's when he put
Well,
it together. I don't know.
Here's
I don't
what
remember.
happens next. He says, "Who's responsible for this woman?" Johnny says, "Me," and then Baby immediately grabs him by starts moving in and grabs him by the arm. And Dad is like, "Oh hell no!" Like he looks at her like, "I see what's going on here."
Yeah,
which I feel like is fair. Like
this
if my daughter,
he's
he is understandable. Like once he steps in and helps Penny out, and they're heading back to the cabin together. He's understandably upset about being woken up in the middle of the night to fix an abortion.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel that.
Yeah.
I
and when
understand.
he thinks that his daughter's off, like either sleeping or he has no idea that she's even hanging out with these people or being
and he realizes this is where his $250 went.
Yeah.
And he's very upset, understandably so.
He puts 2 and 2 together, $250. That's the exact cost of an abortion. It's what she spent the money on.
And now this guy that he thinks is responsible for what happened, his daughter is wearing makeup and is rubbing her hands on.
Yeah, and I feel like that's the moment where the connections made and the assumptions come in and stuff like that. I don't know if it was in the moment of I'm responsible for her. I think it was that chain of events.
I think it's a combination of the two, but I definitely think he is more cold to him because he is rightfully correct about what's going on. And then they go home and they have this argument where he's basically like, I don't know. Dad's talking to Baby. He's like, I don't know you. You're not the person I thought you were. I don't want you to be hanging around these people anymore. All things I feel like a parent would say in this situation.
Yeah, and he's like, we're fucking leaving.
Which I don't know why he doesn't. I would be like, we're fucking leaving.
I know, and
never coming back to Kellerman's.
Honey, let's just stay for the show. And
again,
why
have you not talked to your wife about this? Like, I feel like I would be hightailing it out of Kellerman's and leaving them a very bad Yelp review.
Right? Like, oh my god! I've done some shady things around my parents, and it was one of those things like, please don't tell Mom, and like it was immediately like over dinner. It was like, do you know what your daughter did last night?
Exactly.
And it's just like, it was never a secret. And if my dad wanted to leave a place and he was like, it's because your daughter's fucking the guy in the kitchen, like.
Right?
And then it would be said over dinner with my
Yelp
family.
review would go thus.
Yeah.
Bed's too small, woken up in the middle of the night to fix an abortion.
Yeah. Had to murder my own daughter.
1 star.
Yeah.
0 stars.
0 stars.
0 stars.
Negative stars.
Steak was chewy.
Water was not poured properly.
Exactly.
One thing I got from
Gherkins
this
too small. And so naturally the first thing that Baby does is she goes to Johnny's quarters.
Yes. Quarters.
Because why not?
Well, she's about to go in and say everything that a 17-year-old girl would say.
Yeah. Fair.
So they're talking and she's like trying to apologize for the way her dad treated Johnny, and Johnny's like, well, I'm a loser. And then she starts telling him all this I love the look on his face when she's like, you're everything. And she's like, I don't want to leave this room ever feel like and never feel the way that I feel when I'm with you. And like the look on his face, I feel like is almost like, oh shit. Oops.
Yeah. Well, I mean, oh gosh, so many guys fear that.
Yeah.
I mean, well, so again, I feel he's like a grown man.
Yeah.
And, I don't think like this is definitely not the first time he's probably considered these thoughts, but like this is.
Yeah. I feel like there are very few people in this world, though, who want to be someone's first love.
Oh, yeah.
Like, everyone wants someone else ideal to be their first love, but nobody's ever like, you know what I really want out of this life? Break somebody's fucking heart the first time.
Yeah.
Great.
Sounds awesome.
Break their heart and break their hymen.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
God.
That's horrible. Who would want to do that?
It's a joke, you guys. I know the hymen thing is not real. Just for all you scientists out there, I know it's not real. It's just a joke.
It's not. Oh God.
So,
but you see him clearly struggling with like
propriety. I feel like what is okay to do, what is okay in this situation.
Yeah,
like
and then
he's
also
aware of her youth. I think in this moment.
Yeah, and then also just being like I think both of them in this scene kind of unlay out all their baggage and are struggling with being the ideal self that they want to be, that seems to be reflected in each other's eyes. Because I mean, that's kind of what love is all about. Like, someone reflecting or inspiring you to be the best version of yourself that you can be.
I think
but they're like unloading all of this.
I'm trying to figure out what it is that she gets from him. I mean, he's hot and all that, but
that pelvis isn't important anymore.
Well, I'm just saying, like, what does she get? Like,
thank you, Christy.
Other than the excitement of it, like, he obviously gets somebody who's stable and
but I think that's all
optimistic
that it is for her,
and she gets like a wild ride. Is that kind of what it is?
She gets
but
the
I think that that's part of
yeah.
it, you know. Like I don't want to discredit like the story of the excitement of your first true romance, you know, and it's not just a first love or the first time having sex. It's a romance to her, and I think that that's a big part of it. Like, I have only had one man in my life ever dance with me and like dance with me, you know, and like it was a
all
really
the men out there.
beautiful moment, and like I
Send
still
your dance cards
love
to
him to
Feminine
this
Mistake
day.
Podcast
Yeah,
at
like
gmail.com.
I still love that man to this day, and like in very different ways now than when I did when that happened. But like it was such a changing moment for me because it was so pure, and like I think that moments like that happen so rarely, and I think that they only happen when you're young. And for me, it was in that time between high school and college. I was in my freshman year of college. I was dating this dude. It was really romantic and nice, and like I think that for her, this is her first romance, and I think that that's when that happens is in this time in your life where you meet someone where you're finally able to embrace romance and sensuality and those types of aspects of a relationship, where it's not just the fun excitement of high school and like the seriousness of adulthood. It's like that beautiful moment in between where you can be kind of ridiculous and romantic. And I think that is what this movie is for me, especially with Frances in this moment.
I think it's more about sex, honestly. Like, I don't really see it. I
don't know. It's just like,
what does he do that's romantic?
well, it's not
Until the
necessarily
end.
romance. It's not necessarily romance. It's the sensuality of it. It's the difference between like lust and
I think it's
like
about
this-
lust. I
don't
do. I just
know.
do. I
And
think
the
that it's
potential
about
of
lust.
romance, perhaps.
And I'll
Maybe.
tell you how I know, because she grabs his tushy. Right before
that, and I was like, "Ooh,
I'm
man,
just saying,
okay,
it's
well,
like she
I had a
grabs his
chance.
tushy and he's like, well, this is what's happening now. And then the shirt comes off and it's like a signal. It's like she pressed a button
yeah."
and he was like, she grabbed my tushy.
Is that where the button is?
Try
I
it
need
next
to
time.
know.
I'm just saying, like,
I know a man.
I'm
I'm gonna
not
try it on
saying
tomorrow.
she doesn't think she's in love with him. I'm not saying she doesn't think she's in love with him, but I really do feel like this is about lust. She doesn't even know him that well. She hasn't known him that long. He minimally asks her things about herself. I think he sees something more in her than she sees in him. Like, I think in a way he's kind of like a really exciting piece of meat. I'm sorry, that's just what I see. Like,
No, and that's-
she
that's
seems like
fine,
she is
yeah.
in lust with him to me.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that, though.
But I do think that's something that happens at this time in your life, where you confuse
agree.
lust with love.
I agree.
Oh yeah,
think
yeah.
that's
I
a common
agree.
thing that happens.
I 100% agree with you, and
It's
I've
the thing
definitely
that
done
allows
that.
you to get in a car with somebody who just smashed a window and think
Right.
that it's funny,
Right.
you know, and not really take a hard look at the reality of the situation.
The reality of the situation. It's like, maybe this isn't a person I want to be around long term.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, it's weird. I see both sides. I see it from both sides. In this particular scene, I almost kind of agree with you, Nicole, a little bit, because there's this moment where there's a pause, and then she's like, "Dance with me," and it doesn't really seem to be from a place of like, "Let's dance," because like that's it's I don't know. It feels like a weighted thing. Like that's like what
Like,
their
she's
whole
like, I came
relationship
here
is.
to bone. That's how I feel like she's like, I came to this cabin to bone. It's happening. Like, I feel like that's what's going on here.
Yeah, like I don't know, because it's weird. It's like I've been in relationships with people where I have a very deep connection, like a romantic relationship. We've built years and years of trust and communication, and I don't know, I'm just gonna pull something out of my head. Let's say like the thing that I know makes them happy after like an exhausted argument or something is a pizza, you know. So we have this exhausted, intense argument, and then I'm like, do you want a pizza? Like, and I know
By
it
the
sounds
way,
silly, but it's like,
if I'm ever
but-
upset and you ask me if I want a pizza, the answer is
It's
always
always
going to be yes.
but in this situation
better
with
already
her,
be on
the
its way, in fact.
the way that she was like dance with me, it just felt so like I don't know. It's like almost like a fantasy. It's like let's fulfill this fantasy together.
Yes. I think he's a fantasy for her.
Yeah.
Which is why I would like to posit that I don't think this relationship probably lasts much long. I mean, I don't want to be a fucking cynic, but I'm just saying, like, I think after the amazing dance and sequence at the end,
I don't think it
maybe
lasts
they
past the
write a
summer.
couple letters and then she goes off to
Yeah.
college and she ends up like, you know,
Marrying
I
some
hope.
guy with
No,
glasses.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, marrying some guy with glasses, maybe, but
Yeah.
hopefully still flourishing in
hopefully
her
still
career.
on.
Very specific image in your
Successful
head.
career.
Now,
Yes.
does he have a good
Also.
pelvis? That's the only.
I'm
She
sure he
will-
has a fine
look.
pelvis.
He will do a decent job in the sack, and she will still fantasize about Johnny from time
Like
to time.
they all do. Let's be real. I mean, nobody's truly amazing.
When sometimes when the lights are off, she still thinks about Johnny.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I'm just being realistic about where I think this goes in like 10 years.
I agree.
No,
with
I
you.
agree
don't
with
think-
you.
Yeah, people come into your life for a reason, a season, or a
Right.
lifetime. He's not a lifetime person.
And I'm not saying it's a class issue. I'm just saying like this relationship
No,
is
it's-
built on lust.
Yeah.
No,
if
it
they weren't
is,
in close
but-
quarters together for the summer, I don't think.
I mean, he's pretty hot, but it would still be based on lust.
Yeah.
At
But
least the way the
here's
relationship
the reason why
seems to
I don't
operate.
have an issue with it though is it's not a story about a relationship that's blossoming, you know, and like a relationship that's it's not a story about a relationship. It's a story about a summer romance and a summer lust.
I think so. I agree.
And like that's why I don't have an issue with this being a pure lust thing.
No, I'm
either.
not saying
And,
it's
like,
an issue for
having
me at
these
all.
little elements.
I mean,
of
I feel like
other
I'm
things
having
in it, but
a moment of pure lust.
I know, right? Like
Patrick
it's
Swayze as
all
well.
It's all I want
Can
right
we
now.
get the picture of Patrick Swayze back up?
Oh
to
yeah,
inspire
I'm on
us?
it.
Yes.
I'm on
Yes.
it.
So the next morning, as Baby is leaving Johnny's cabin, Vivian is leaving Robbie's cabin at the same time.
Oh, that's when that happened.
And she sees
Yes.
Them passionately
Baby leaving.
making out.
Right. And then she
Yes.
gets the jealousy.
Yeah.
She catches the envy.
She gets the jealousy.
Now, little subplot that's been going on. There's some wallet theft going on
Yes.
Oh yeah.
at the resort and surrounding resorts. And Vivian pins it on Johnny, I guess, as an act of revenge, which seems weird.
and says that I guess her husband's wallet was stolen while he was playing cards. And Johnny had walked over to him while he was playing cards and he had offered Johnny the money.
No.
Right?
She
Wasn't
makes
it?
up a story.
Oh,
like
she makes up a story.
says-
Oh, I thought that he was playing
No,
cards
she
at the time
straight
when
up
he denied
lies.
the money. Okay.
Yeah.
She straight up lies. She knows Johnny was in his cabin last night,
Okay.
you know, with Baby. She knows that,
I
and
thought it was
she
at least somewhat
lies.
plausible.
No,
Okay.
she lies and says that I think I saw Johnny
Yeah.
near that wallet recently. So she puts the little bug in Kellerman's ear that Johnny may be stealing, and so he says he's telling this at breakfast to Baby and Mr. Hausman and the rest of the family, and Baby is sitting there like, oh God, you know, I know that he didn't take the wallet, and she's trying to say that she's like, he didn't take, I don't think he did it. You know, what about the old couple? I saw the shoemakers or whatever, the Schumachers.
Schumachers. Yeah.
They had a bunch of wallets in their purse, and Dad's like, how dare you accuse these innocent old people of stealing wallets? And like Kellerman's like, Neil, come with me. We're going to fire someone today.
Yeah.
And
Like you can learn how to be a manager.
yeah.
Yes.
And Baby, she tells everybody.
Yeah,
she
she
says,
stands up.
I know that Johnny didn't steal the wallets because I was with him all night in his fuck cabin.
Yes.
Those weren't the exact words.
And this is the moment where you can hear her dad's heart breaking into 1,000 pieces.
Yeah, her dad actually just like burst into flame at the table, and the whole Kellerman cabin just like burns
Just
to
goes
the
up
ground.
and end of movie. Good night.
Yeah,
film.
at fuck cabin.
Right. So
Nightmare at Fuck Cabin. New title.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, so to try to save Johnny from getting fired, she reveals that she's having this affair with him.
Yes.
And so the next scene is her dad like looking out forlornly on the lake, questioning all of his life choices. Which
Why
I feel like
have daughters.
I feel like you would be.
abort them?
Oh God!
Wow.
Sorry, guys, took it to a dark place.
Little dark.
We know when
So he's setting that. This is a good scene, though.
Yeah.
I think
Oh
that
my
she's
God.
being very unfair to him, but realistic. I think for
Yeah.
a 17-year-old girl to say, you know, it's very unfair. First of all, like this guy who has not ratted out Penny to Kellerman, who's been going to help her. Her daughter accuses him of only wanting to help people like them, like upper class people. And she's like, you let me down because you know, made me think the world was a certain way, and it's actually a kind of a shitty place.
Yeah.
Basically. And he's just sitting there like he starts weeping.
Yeah.
Like she's like,
he wipes his eyes,
he starts to like get the weep shakes where his body shakes a little bit.
Yeah.
Like she's like, you have to love all the parts of me, even the parts that you don't like, which
Yeah.
I think is a reasonable thing to say. But she's kind of asking a lot of him and also like characterizing him in a way that I think is unfair. Maybe it's because I'm a parent. I'm looking for that.
Yeah.
But as a child's perspective, coming to a parent, and I think that that's a very reasonable thing to ask your parent when you do start to become an adult and start to make your own choices, is like, hey, you have to like me no matter what choice I make. And
well, that I think is fair. I think the part where she says he only wants to help people like him is really unfair.
But I think that's a naive assumption of a child of their parents.
Yes,
you know,
totally.
and I do think that that's part of it, is that she is like a person becoming an adult and like realizing like, oh, my parents aren't perfect. Got it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And like, but I do think that asking your parents to respect you at a certain point in your life is a part of growing up, you know?
And also she's asking him to stop treating her, giving her the silent treatment.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
But my heart really breaks for him in this scene.
Yeah.
I feel very bad for him because this is going to go down in history as the worst vacation ever.
It is.
Worst Houseman vacation. Years later when they're sitting around
Remember that time
at brunch. Remember that time when you were with that greaser?
We don't talk about that anymore.
On his
we
deathbed,
don't
he's
talk
gonna be
about
like,
that anymore.
Brian, you remember the time you made me an aiding and abetting to an abortion?
An illegal abortion.
Like on his deathbed later in life.
Oh God.
This is definitely the worst Houseman vacation.
House
Worst
and vacation.
vacation
They didn't have any
ever.
more family vacations.
They were like,
after
that's-
He
this
was
is
like,
the last
that's it.
one.
The end of them. We're not allowed to have
We're not
nice
going
things
anywhere.
anymore.
One.
You can get married if you want to go somewhere.
Yeah.
Your husband will take you.
We can't have nice things anymore.
So the next scene is Baby and Johnny back at. Is this the rehearsal cabin? There's so many cabins. I can't keep them all
cabin?
straight.
I think it's the rehearsal
It's not the
cabin.
fuck cabin because the fuck cabin is really
this
small.
This is the dance studio, I believe.
Yeah, there's like some kind of
Yeah.
dance studio where we only see Johnny and Baby and Penny, but okay.
Yeah.
And there's bunk beds there
Yes.
for when you want to have a sleepover.
Yeah, because when you
Yes.
just need to take a quick nap. in
Which
between
she
rehearsals.
is. She's taking a quick nap when he comes upon her.
Yeah, we'll power
And he's like, I've been looking for you everywhere. And he tells her this whole story about how the Schumachers or whatever, like, they discovered that they, like, had stolen all this stuff. And, like,
they
they
fingerprinted all this
fingerprinted
stuff. They
and
investigated.
it was totally the Shoemakers. They did it. And, but he got fired anyway.
Yeah.
And she's upset.
Yeah.
He got
Her
fired
whole world
'cause-
is crashing down.
Yeah.
He got fired even though she did the right thing and confessed to her dad that she had boned down hard with him.
Which he was explicitly told not to do.
Not
with
to
the guests.
do,
Right.
which is why.
I honestly, I would be really mad if I like went to my dad and was like, I know he didn't do that. I was fucking him last night, and then found out that none of it mattered. I would have been like, fuck this shit. I'm never being honest with my parents ever again.
I feel like your dad would have been like, yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, probably. My parents would have been just like, I knew it. I knew it.
Hillary ruined another
You were
vacation.
smoking the drug cigarettes too, weren't
the
you?
drug cigarettes.
Ruined another vacation, Hillary.
Oh my gosh.
All right, the show. It's the night of the last show.
The main show.
Which fortunately we were spared of watching, except for the very end.
Thank God.
Yes.
And the costumes. I can only imagine what the show is about, given the costumes that we see at the very end here. There's like a pirate and like a lady who looks kind of like Jackie Onassis. And like I'm not really sure what the show is about. And then Lisa's dressed in her like mermaid coconut outfit.
Yeah.
Singing her weird song.
So all we get is like the last song
Mm-hmm.
where they're singing about Kellerman's.
Yeah.
In a very like high school diplomatic,
It's like a pageant or something.
Yeah, it's like a pageant or like I think of Grease, when they're singing like the Rydell High, like
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, it's like a fight song or something.
Yeah.
Well, not a fight, but like a
strange.
school song.
Yeah.
So they're singing the end of the song. Baby's mom is sitting there looking like fucking clueless. Dad and baby are just sitting there looking
She's just like Xanaxed
miserable.
out.
Yeah,
Like-
she is. She's like 4 martinis into this awful show, I think.
She's like, I'll make it to the end. My daughter's in it.
She's like, oh God, somebody just prop me up. So during the show, Robbie comes by, and Mr. Houseman, I guess, gives him like a check or something
him
for
a check.
college.
Yeah. And
And-
it's like, good luck at Harvard, son.
And Robbie very stupidly is like, hey, thanks for helping me out with that abortion thing. And
locker room talk. Hey,
right?
you know, we've all been there.
And
say
baby's dad
that
is
to you?
like,
Yes, he
what?
did.
He
Yeah.
does. He's like, we've all been in that situation, right? And baby's dad is like, so what?
Yeah.
And he takes the check back immediately and is
Yeah.
like, get the fuck away from me right now.
Yeah.
Here's your copy of the Fountainhead back.
with your copious notes.
Anyway,
That's
so
the right reaction to that.
yeah. So dad finally finds out the truth from Robbie. Like, why
Yes.
didn't
Of
somebody
all
say
things.
something?
Straight from the horse's mouth.
Why didn't somebody say something before now? So baby is sitting there at the table. They've made her up to look like a woman at this point. She's got makeup on, her hair's all coiffed,
And she's in the corner.
She's in the corner, and Johnny shows up with his leather jacket on, and he's like, "Nobody puts baby in a corner."
Yeah.
Which, while I was watching this with Sarah, she goes, "Oh, that's where this line comes from."
Yeah, apparently
Yeah,
he tried to
no.
get that line cut from the film.
I knew that that's where the line was from, but I thought I had seen this movie and I thought it was a different reference. And so when it finally came out, I was like, that's fucking lame.
Oh,
was like,
come on,
"That's
guys!
lame."
Come on.
Nah.
But he wants to take her out of the shadows and into the spotlight, which is what he's done through this journey.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah,
okay, I'll
it's
give you
true.
that.
It
I'll give
is
you that. I'll give you
true.
that.
Yeah.
He literally gets her in the spotlight in a moment.
Yes.
So he actually pulls her up on stage and saves us from this terrible song that's going on.
And hands the guy a record.
Hands the guy the hottest single of from 1987, all the way from 1987. And he got in a time machine,
And flew back to 1963.
got this single, "I Had the Time of My Life," comes back to 1963 with it. They popped this record on.
Yes.
It should have been a cassette tape, frankly.
Should have been.
Yes.
And then he gets up there and he gives this big speech about baby and the way he's changed her life and the way he's made her want to be a person who takes risks and be the kind of person that I don't know. She's the kind of person he wants to be.
Yes. He says that she's a great partner.
Right.
And that there are people who are willing to stand up for each other no matter what. And it's the kind of person I want to be, or something to that
Yeah.
effect.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And for some reason they don't immediately tear him off the stage and arrest him. They just
I thought you were going to say for some reason she doesn't just like tear his pants off.
that too.
Which is what I was thinking.
Because I feel like this is his most sexy outfit.
Yes.
They saved the best for last.
He really
Yes,
did.
they did. Good job, costumer. Good
They
job.
did great job. Those pants were like butter.
Yes.
Yes. I was reading
Okay.
your mind right then. Backstory also, so earlier in the film, they're working on, him and baby are working on something for this end recital because he's always known for doing the last dance of the show.
Yeah.
Right,
And
yes.
Neil, creepy manager, grandson, tells Johnny that he wants him to do the pachanga.
Right.
Which I don't know what the pachanga is.
I don't
but it
know
does
either.
not sound sexy.
No.
It does not sound fun.
I feel, is that a made up dance? Like I've never even heard of that before.
I think it's real.
But he always does the mambo.
And he-
right?
yeah,
Like,
he
that
always
was always his closer was the mambo.
Yeah, and he was also saying that to Neil, like, "Oh, I have all these new ideas. I want to do something that's like Cuban soul, blah blah blah." And Neil's like, "No,
and I've got the song from 1987 that I'd like
and I've
to
got
play.
the song from
It's
1987
gonna blow
in
your
my
minds.
back pocket." And Neil's like, "No, stay your place.
Yeah.
You do what we pay for you to do. You're gonna do the pachanga or lose your job."
So
he's back.
they put this kickin' song on and they do they dance their mambo magic routine to this song. I had the time of my life. Which was like the song you could not get away from in 1987.
Yeah,
Away from it, and I love it.
I love it too.
I
It's
still
a great
kind of
one.
like it.
If this was an option at karaoke, I feel like I would rock.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
yes!
Oh my god, I want to do this at
Gotta
karaoke so
rock
bad.
this.
We should
At
do it right
karaoke.
now.
Oh my god. So they dance. It's cool. It's a cool scene. I like it. It's
in comparison
catchy.
to the first dance,
Oh,
they have
for sure.
clearly made the connection. You know, they
Yeah.
clearly
Yeah,
have a
this
song
dance
to
goes
lift.
well.
Yeah, she does the lift
With
They-
the spotlight on her and they like do the lift and all the staff people are doing the Cuban
dancing
fusion
too.
scene. They're like dancing in the
Yes.
aisles and
the choreographer choreographed for Cher.
Oh.
And many other things, and Bubba Carr knows this particular. 'Cause I
Yes.
saw
Oh my
a
God.
few steps. Like one of my favorites is the Chenet on your knees. That is a
Oh,
very
man.
classic
Oh,
80s.
yeah.
that's I love that
move
actually.
for the men and. Yeah, and you know, like a prep into an inside coupe turn. I was like, yes. I said, I see.
I don't know what you're saying, but I
Yeah,
love
either,
it.
but I'm like, yes.
And
yeah.
then also, when I first watched the dance scene, I was like, how is this like a typical musical where everyone just magically knows the steps?
Well, he
Like
says he's
this-
been working with them, right? On the dance.
I think so. Yeah.
That's what he said to Neil. I've been
Yeah.
working with the staff kids on this dance.
Oh, well, funny. I rewound it in that section, and actually, when he's walking to the people, he's doing the dance. And then when he turns around, they all do it. And I was like, oh, thank you. Smart move.
Okay.
Thank you.
So he like shows it.
So
to
it's
them
like
before
when
they
I
do
so
it.
it's kind of
Okay.
like when I go to an audition and I make sure I'm in the way back so I can watch everybody else
Yes.
what they're doing first.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it. So
It was a great.
the
final
old
scene.
ladies in the audience are loving it.
Yeah.
They're like
Oh,
throwing
yeah.
off their minks and dancing. Eventually, everybody gets up and it's group dance
Yes.
time. Dad's
Yeah.
dancing, Kellerman's dancing.
Yes.
We see we get resolution to Penny's storyline, kinda, because she's
with
like
the tap guy.
well, no, she's like silently hugging baby's dad. Like they
Oh,
hug,
yeah,
and
yeah.
we're like, okay, I guess everything's cool now. So we know, like,
Yeah.
once the initial purpose of her storyline is served, we never
She's
really get.
done.
Well,
we don't get any we don't get any character arc resolution. We get a plot resolution.
Yeah.
but we don't get anything about how she feels about what happened to her or what she plans to do next.
Yeah.
or anything like that.
I did see a connection though,
But-
because in the very beginning, when she's teaching the Mambo class, she says, on the count of 3, you'll meet the man of your dreams. And she picks the dad. Probably because Max said, you know, these are my special guests, whatever. But
He's not in that scene.
he is.
He
He
is?
is. Him and the mother are in the
Okay,
scene. And
okay.
she's, because I rewound it because I was like, is
Oh,
this
that's
the dad?
interesting. Well, I'd like to
And,
think
huh.
they have like a
Yeah.
relationship after this as friends, like
Yeah,
where he
of
keeps up
course.
with her and maybe
Yeah.
gives her some
birth control.
birth
Yeah,
control.
birth control, yeah.
that would be nice. But I was gonna say a father figure, but what you said is more realistic. He's just like slipping her. He's like, just try it.
He's like, just try Lord,
try it.
like
You'll be good.
orthotricycline.
But yeah, so that's interesting
give it a
that that's
shot.
like he affected her life, and
Yeah.
you know she so that there's that, and
Dad kind of apologizes to Johnny.
yeah.
I mean, he really tries. He's like,
Yeah.
I heard that you're not the one who knocked a Penny or whatever he said. You didn't get a Penny in trouble.
Yeah.
yeah,
And Johnny's
not
like, but
pregnant, she's in trouble.
right,
Yes.
right. But instead
kids
of
are
being
nothing but
like,
trouble.
cool, hey, I'd like to take your daughter out on a date sometime. He's like, yeah, what of it? Like Johnny, he's like still being a dick about it, you
Yeah.
know? Like
Yeah.
he's like, yeah, and so it's like a man apology, I guess,
Yeah.
where his dad's like, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I'm say I'm wrong. I'm say I'm wrong.
Yeah.
You know, and that's how they wrap
Terrible.
that up.
Yeah.
But yeah, so everybody makes up at the end.
Yeah. And then the dances, and the dance is very like in the beginning where it was very sensual, passionate, almost to the point of like maybe being uncomfortable and grotesque to watch in the beginning. It's all celebratory. We don't see these big, large like back bends or boobies. It's people. They're adopting Johnny's dance style that he sends. In a way, he's kind of changed the world.
Right. Interesting. Yeah. And everybody, it's kind of infected the entire room. Everybody's. I like that. You're right.
Yeah. So it's pretty
nice.
cool.
I like it.
Yeah.
Final thoughts.
I love this movie. I think it was great. I'm really happy I watched it.
Yay.
I really liked it.
I would date this movie. I wouldn't call it a long-term relationship, but I would go out every once in a while with this movie. It's a feel-good, great movie for Valentine's Day. Great to play in the background when you're doing dishes or something like that.
Oh, for sure.
Or other things.
Yeah, 2 thumbs up.
Or other things.
2 thumbs up.
Yep.
I enjoy this movie. I think that Patrick Swayze's pelvis is my favorite character in this film.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, award-winning performance.
It's an award-winning performance by a pelvis.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm so excited! I'm so scared!
Welcome to Nervous Breakdowns. This is where we read horrifying casting breakdowns that are real.
God, I'm already scared.
They are real. We do not out the production company or where the casting breakdown came from. Would you like to read one of these breakdowns?
Sure, absolutely.
So we're going to give this to Christy to read.
All right. Casting call for actors.
Thank God.
Who else?
Casting call for teddy bears.
For economists.
I mean, it's good to be
Casting
specific.
call for librarians. Sorry, no, we should let her continue. We should not editorialize.
Oh, God. Okay, let's try this again. Casting call for actors. Looking for 8 fit male actors to act in a major music video for a known recording artist. Fit military members. 18 plus. And ethnicity should be white or mixed. Military experience preferred. Attire will be provided, but great if have military uniform. Fit bad guys. 18 plus and ethnicity should be Middle Eastern, Indian, Asian, or Black. Preferred to have a beard. Military experience preferred. Attire must have black t-shirt, military pants, and black boots. Should I read more?
No, I think we
got the gist of it there.
Yeah, because there's okay.
So classic good white guys versus Middle Eastern bad
black guys.
Or
Yes.
black.
Yeah.
You can also be black
I was-
or Indian.
Or
Yeah,
Indian.
thank
This
God.
is not racist, you guys.
I was
They
almost
take
wondering
Indians
if it would say
as
preferred
well.
black.
Or you could be Asian,
Oh,
which
did
is
not
Asian misspelled.
Oh.
Oh, bummer.
Asians can be bad
Asians
guys too.
can apply.
So if you are a white guy, come be a good guy. If you're anything that's not a white guy,
else.
come in your black shirt and your black boots and get ready to
Rough and tumble.
fucking.
If you're darker than Trevor Noah, I think we all know which audition side you're picking.
Oh, God.
Nothing racist about that.
Yes.
Not at all.
Okay, so we got another one.
All right, here's another one.
All right.
Hey.
On. All right. Woo. Okay, y'all. Auditions for a touring musical stage play.
Okay.
If you feel that you have what it takes to be part of a major production, then it is time to hit the stage.
Hit it.
We may be looking for you. We are looking to fill one
Stop
role.
looking in my windows. First of all.
Oh my gosh. We are looking for one role and understudies to travel. Casting roles. Understudies must be able to sing very well. Won't count me out already.
Yeah, right?
We are looking for one male and one female that has the ability to learn all the roles. Must be able to look in your 30s or 40s. Female characters must be in somewhat great shape.
Somewhat great.
Somewhat
shape.
great. In what shape are we talking about?
I would consider myself to be in somewhat okay shape.
I'm in a somewhat great apple shape.
I mean,
somewhat great rectangle shape.
Yeah, I mean, somewhat great shape could mean a lot of things,
Like,
right?
I am a beautifully shaped sphere.
Yes.
Indeed. A great
But can you sing well?
one, in fact.
And can you
I
learn
think we
the
all
rules?
heard me sing along.
Oh, don't
to
worry.
these
If you
songs
can't sing, you just gotta be in
tonight.
good shape. That's all.
Well, now, surely the male understudy needs to also be in somewhat great shape,
no,
right?
no, that's not listed. No, it's just the females.
No.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, I'm glad we clarified that.
Okay.
Oh, and you have to do a monologue and song, but it's more important that you're in great shape.
Yeah, it's more important that the woman
Somewhat
is hot
Some
for the understudy role.
guys, somewhat hot.
Somewhat hot.
shape.
It's just an understudy, Hillary.
You're
somewhat
right.
hot.
You just need to be somewhat hot for this understudy role. You don't need to be a bombshell. We're not looking for Chrissy Teigen up here.
Oh, thank
A
God.
regular Ivanka Trump will do.
She will do. Welcome to Plug It Up. This is the part of the show where we talk about things that we're working on and things that our guests are working on, so you can find out all the great stuff that everyone is up to and enjoy it thoroughly.
Yeah.
Christy.
So you caught me off guard. I was dancing over here. Sorry.
I was dancing and
Expected
eating
you to
mixed
go
nuts.
first.
So yes, primarily these days I recently auditioned for the Radio City Rockettes. So all I can plug is your keeping your fingers crossed and hoping that I will hear something back in March. So just send lots of good vibes.
Of course.
So
She's a wonderful dancer, you guys.
She really
Thank
is.
you very much. It's been a long journey. So that's been the main thing going on. I had a film that was shown at the Atlanta Independent Film Festival called
Congratulations.
Uncommon Law. Yes. So look out for that. I believe it is on DVD.
Excellent.
There is a Facebook page for it, so just look up Uncommon Law and it should pop up. Other than that, I dance, y'all. That's all I do. Like literally,
Love
this
it.
has been my one chance to get out of the house and have like kind of a life. I work at a dance studio. It's called Dance 101. We are a adult fitness and technical dance studio for adults 18 and up. All levels of experience. You can have no dance experience like me. You can be
not
pre-professional.
anymore. You
Not
have
anymore.
experience now.
Woo. Now I'm guesting on Dirty Dancing.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, I think if you were looking for a testament to the studio, it would be Christy. She started off with no dance experience, and she just auditioned for the Radio City Rockettes.
Sarah,
So
if that's not a commercial for
yeah.
Dance 101, I don't know what it is.
I don't really know what it is. Yeah, Christy should be their spokesmodel.
Oh, thanks. But yeah, so if you want to come take class, come take class with us, dance, work out. It's super fun. And that's it. That's it.
But do they teach the pachanga?
No,
Okay.
we do not teach the pachanga.
Okay, it sounds made up anyway.
Yeah, I think they made that. I think Neil made that up. Hillary, what would you like to plug?
I would like to plug Dick Pic Professional, which is now available on Vimeo. That's vimeo.com/critical crop top. And that is written and directed by our very own Sarah Allison Hodges and starring me, Hillary R. Heath, as well as several other dudes, Brian Ashton Smith, Weston Manders, Pedro Ferreira, and Andy Fleming.
Andy Fleming. How
Who's
could you
in
forget?
everything? How did I forget
Yeah,
Andy
like
Fleming?
you pretty much just need to
It's-
name off Andy every time because he's in everything.
Probably because I just keep him in my heart all the time. But
And
it's
Robbie Glade
and Robbie Glade
and
He plays
Rodney
my
and Rodney
sidekick.
Higgins
yeah,
and Vanessa.
there are so many awesome people in
Yes.
this. You really should check it out. It's available now. Vimeo.com/critical crop top.
Yep, go watch it. All right, I would like to thank our fiscal sponsor, C4 Atlanta, who has made it possible for us to take tax-deductible donations, monetary or in kind, towards our 2017 programming.
Yeah.
So we are fundraising. We're looking to keep making all the great stuff that you've come to enjoy from Critical Crop Top. If you individually would like to donate towards our 2017 programming, or if you have a business and you'd like to partner with us in that way as a sponsor, go to our website, criticalcroptop.com, click on donate, and you can find more information there. It's very easy, and we would appreciate it.
You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram
Indeed.
at Critical Crop Top.
Yes,
Can I be your friend
please do.
on the internet?
Please be our friend.
Yay!
I'd like to thank Christy for being here on Galentine's Day.
Yes, this is is my favorite way to spend Valentine's/Galentine's Day ever.
I've had the best time.
Yeah,
Such a good time with you. I'm so glad you came.
And it's not just the wine talking.
Yes. It's the night talking.
Yes.
The night. You can subscribe to this podcast, Feminine Mistake Podcast, on iTunes, on Stitcher, on SoundCloud. We would love for you to leave us a review if you are so inclined. If you've got a nervous breakdown that you would like us to read on the show, or if you've got something you want to say about Patrick Swayze's pelvis, you can send that to femininemistakepodcast@gmail.com.
You're going to have a busy month reading emails.
All about Patrick Swayze's pelvis.
I think so, and I think I will
Flood
relish
of
them.
emails.